Yo, man, what are we doing here? Yo, listen. So I'm having to I'm having to explain exactly why this shit is so ridiculous. Again, even though I've done like what, two streams on it now? Where I went over the search warrant, I went over the EVS stuff. Shit, man. What are we doing here? Like, why am I having to explain this again? Why am I having to justify my stance again? What do you mean about time? I started on time. I scheduled it for 9:15. I scheduled it for 9:15. The fuck you talking about? It's 9:16. The stream started a minute ago. All right. So, here we are. I'm having to go over this shit again. I'm having to justify my stance on this again. I'm having to explain why Rekieta is the bad guy again and not the kids. I'm having to go over the EVS video again because apparently people don't get it. So here we are. And then we are going to talk about the Riley situation because it ties into the overall theme of tonight's stream, and that is credibility. That's credibility. So we have the EVS video pulled up. We're going to get to that in a minute. But first, I do want to go over the Rekieta search warrant once again, one more time. We're going to go over this again. And I have cut out all the fluff, all the legal jargon, whatever it is. We're only going to look at the stuff that's actually important, the actual accusations, the actual evidence, the actual things that led up to the search warrant. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to look at. So I've cut it down to from like 11 pages to like 6 because that's actually the important shit. So that's what we're going to look at. That's what we're going to look at. That's what we're going to take a look at. Just had to comment first, and that was the first coherent thing that came to my mind. Well, don't go blaming me. Don't go attacking me. I mean, I've been late in the past, but tonight I am not late. I am on time, baby. I've got my coffee. I got my water. I got a vape. I am on time. I'm ready to go. So let's jump into this. So I'm going to switch over to the Rekieta. I'm going to skip over to the Rekieta arrest warrant. So this is page 2. This is page 2 for the application to get a search warrant, which means this is the accusations. This is the stuff to lead up to them acquiring the search warrant, that led up to the police getting the search warrant. Oh yeah, before I forget, hold up. I need to post this on Twitter. We're live, baby. People need to know we live. We're here. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Damn. Go to Twitter real quick. And we are live discussing hashtag Rekieta. Actually, let me do at Rekieta. At Rekieta Law. Hashtag EVS. Actually, come on now. What is... Wow, Comicsgate don't even pop up. That's wild. Okay. At EVS. There we go. Ethan Van Sciver. Fuck it. And at what is Riley's hold up. What is Riley's name on Twitter? Is it the Clippiverse? Is it just at Clippiverse? Clippiverse goalpost. Fuck you. I'm just going to put hashtag Clippiverse. And tweet. There we go. All right. So now everybody on Twitter can see it, which, by the way, I have gained some new Twitter followers. Appreciate that. Love you guys for that. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. So it is now on Twitter. But the first part that we're going to cover is going to be the case background. This is the stuff that led up to the search warrant. This is the reason why the search warrant was granted. And again, let's be clear about something, because there's been some confusion on this. First of all, people are saying that there was only one time that the kids complained, or that there was only one person that actually contacted the police. Or you know, that was backing up the, not necessarily, well, I know the pastor contacted the police, but there was only one person that was actually backing up the claims, which is not true. There was the pastor, there was teacher, there was Kayla's sister. I mean, Aaron. I mean, a lot of people. Second is that we have a list of the evidence that was found in the freaking house during the search. We have a list of the evidence. Number three, it was not just that the kids were malnourished. It's also that they were, their clothes, they were wearing the same clothes for like 4 days in a row. They were stinking. I mean, just obvious signs of neglect. And we're going to go into this. And for the love of God, can the janitors please stop sweeping for Rekieta? It's embarrassing, people. I mean, we have to have some level of credibility. And that's going to be the theme of tonight's stream, is credibility. Because here's the thing. You guys know I'm no fan of Eric July. I don't like Eric July. I think Eric July is a hypocrite. I think he makes a mockery of comic books. I don't like Eric July. But if we're going to go after Eric July and point out his hypocrisy, we have to be willing to do the same to the people that we do typically associate with, people on our side. Otherwise, it's no longer about principles. It's about loyalty. It's about friendships. And at that point, we don't really care about right and wrong. We just care about keeping in the good graces of our associates, which, again, is not what we need to be doing. I don't think that's why you guys came here. I don't think that's why you guys are here. I don't think that's why you guys subscribe to people like me. Because, again, I'm going to call out people for their hypocrisy. That's what I do. That is what I do. All right? Whether it's Eric July, whether it's EVS, whether it's Rekieta, whether it's whoever, I'm going to call them out on their hypocrisy. And I would hope you guys could understand that and appreciate that. And I think that's why you guys are here, because I'm a straight shooter. I try to be honest with you guys. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And hopefully you guys will see that that is my attempt to increase credibility. And now we have a guest. Speaking of credible, what's up?
There's no one more credible than yours truly.
Oh, dude, you got to fix your mic. Try talking again.
Testing feels crazy.
Yeah, you sound, oh my God, you sound like you're muffled. Is somebody suffocating you? Do you need help? Do you need us to call 911?
Just send the money to the people. 1 second.
No, dude, you're muffled like everything, though, for real. Can you try a different mic? All right, he'll be back. But yeah, hopefully you guys respect that. I hope you do, because one of the things I want to do is I want to maintain credibility. Like I'm not going to come on here and look, if the body cam footage comes out and I'm completely wrong, all right, fuck me, I'll apologize. At least I can admit it. And look, I can admit that because of my past, because of what I've talked about on stream, about my past, I can admit that I have somewhat of a bias here in favor of the children, and because I understand what they're probably going through. And I admit that. Now, other people here, they have a bias in favor of Rekieta, especially somebody like EVS. Because I think people like EVS, I think there's a lot of people that we have that we have associated with that they have been canceled. They have been targeted by the quote unquote left. And so now they view every kind of mainstream body or government body as the enemy. And I think that clouds their view. I think it clouds their judgment. And it's a bias against the police. It's a bias against the justice system. That's not to say the justice system always gets everything right every time. No. But sometimes they do get it right. And I think in this case, they're getting it right. But they view Rekieta as somebody who is a brother in arms, somebody that they can lock arms with, that they've stood with in the culture war. And to them, in their minds, it's like betraying a fellow soldier, I guess, in some kind of warped, fucked up view. I guess that's how they see it. But that's a big, huge, girthy bias. And if they could admit that, it would be one thing, but they can't. I can admit that I have a bias in favor of the children because of what I grew up with, because of what I dealt with my mom. But I'm being open and honest with you guys about it. I'm laying it all on the table. So hopefully you guys can understand that, can appreciate that. And yeah, I hope we've got that clear. Yes, call 911. He's dying. Yo, man. Yeah, we gotta fix that. We gotta fix that. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Yeah, I'm gonna give Extra Hero another minute to get back in, and then we're actually gonna dive into this. Because it's time, man. It's time to jump into this. And listen, like, Uncapped Turtle, fair enough. Yesterday I was not prepared. Because I wasn't really planning to go over this shit again, because I had already gone over it in previous streams, so I didn't have the paperwork pulled up. I didn't have the evidence pulled up. I didn't have the receipts pulled up. Tonight I have it. So that was my bad. But it is here, and I've gone over it before, and I will go over it again. That way we are clear, and there's no misunderstanding. There's no mistake. I'm going to show you guys that it's not just a one-off thing, that this was a repeated concern of multiple people. And can we stop with the conspiracy theories? I mean, there is this whole idea that entire county is working against Rekieta. There's some kind of county-wide experience that the pastor, the teachers, everybody was conspiring against Rekieta. There was even somebody that suggested that the Biden administration was conspiring against Rekieta. There's actually been people out there who have said that the people that reported Rekieta for this are equivalent to people reporting the Jews to the Third Reich. What the fuck are we on about, people? I mean, don't get me wrong. The government has its issues. The government has its problems. But damn. So now we're talking about reporting child neglect as equivalent to reporting the Jews to the Third Reich? Are we serious? Guys, come on. Do you know how crazy that makes you sound? Do you know how absolutely batshit bonkers that makes you sound? Come on. Come on. You look like a joke. Like, when you say shit like that, you can't be taken seriously. All right. So Extra Hero, hopefully you'll jump back in soon. We're going to go ahead and dive into this. We're going to look into this. So here we go. So we're going to start with where it says case background. So here we go. If those conspiracies are true, then Nick is a psyop. The conspiracies are not. Listen, Joe Biden barely knows what day of the week it is. He doesn't know who the fuck Nick Rekieta is. All right. So here we go. So he has 5 children, ages ranging from 6 to 16. The reporter indicated, now the reporter, the one that actually filed the report. Appreciate it, Anna. Appreciate it. Would also appreciate a subscribe if you could do that as well. So Nick Rekieta has 5 children, ages 6 to 16. The reporter, who is the pastor, that was the one that actually reported to the police, indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him reporting neglect to the children, possible controlled substance use, and a questionable relationship with an additional couple. So, right there, this whole
Hey, is it better now?
much better, much
Nice.
better. Yeah, much better. Appreciate
I
that,
came in
Anna.
just when you were stating your mission statement.
My mission statement. We here, baby. Thank you, Anna. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So yeah, you know what's going on, right? Like, as far as like what we're doing tonight.
You're continuing a conversation you had with Uncapped Turtle yesterday.
Yes, because to be fair, I did not bring the receipts when we were having the Rekieta debate. I didn't think I would need them because it was just supposed to be like a quick recap stream of all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned to a debate. And if I had known that, I would have brought the receipts. So
Oh,
Uncapped
okay.
Turtle was saying, there was only one report there was only like one person complaining about the whole Rekieta situation, the child neglect and everything.
Mm.
I have got the application for a search warrant right here. So I'm going to disprove that point. It says right here in the first paragraph, the last sentence of the first paragraph under case background, it says the reporter indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him reporting. The reporter is the pastor. That's the one that actually contacted the police. So 4 people went to the pastor, telling him that there was neglect to the children, possible controlled substance use, and a questionable relationship with an additional couple. Now, for all the people out there that are saying that the people that reported Nick Rekieta to the police are equivalent to people that were reporting Jews to the Third Reich, and there are people fucking saying, I'm not joking, people are actually making that fucking comparison. Guys,
You're not joking, but that is a joke.
I'm not joking. I mean, it makes you look like a joke if you actually believe that. Holy shit. So, guys, as a pastor, as a religious figure, he is required by law to report stuff like this to the police. If you're a teacher, a medical professional, if you're if you work in a religious institution, anything that could possibly be dealing with children, if there is a suspicion of child neglect, you are required by law to report that to the police. And if you are caught having received evidence that this shit is going on and you fail to report it to the police and they find that shit out, your ass is grass. You will lose your job. So
Can you lose your job as a pastor?
I guess it depends on what, I guess it would depend on what denomination you are.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're Catholic, then like if you're a priest, the bishop can fire you, or if you're a bishop, a cardinal or the pope or somebody could fire you. But pastors can be voted out of their church.
Oh, I didn't know it was a democracy. Cool.
Oh yeah. Well, at least because I guess technically I'm still a Baptist, even though I haven't been to church in a while. I would identify myself more with the Orthodox Church than anything, but that's not very popular here in America. I digress. Anyways, at our church,
Often.
Yes, like we could vote out the pastor and vote in the pastor. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you think about it, Nick is kind of like Miss Frank. Ooh.
I'm assuming he's not talking about Lisa Frank.
I'm assuming that he's being sarcastic because I need that to hold on hope for him. So the reporter, yes.
Oh, and Frank. Jesus Christ.
Wait, you didn't get that?
No, not immediately. I was like, what are the Franks I know? And then I started going through my mental Rolodex and I was like, oh. I don't know many people with the last name Frank. There was Lisa Frank and then her. So, I mean, both iconic, but you know.
Yeah. So the reporter, that being the pastor, indicated that 4 people. So, Uncapped Turtle was trying to say, oh, it was just one person that was claiming all this stuff. No, it was.
Well, tell me,
it was 4
did he do a better job at defending Nick Rekieta or Crowder?
Nick Rekieta, but only because I didn't have the receipts.
Okay.
I actually had the video. I had the security footage the night we did the Crowder thing. But so we have 4 people plus the pastor. That's 5 people, not 1, 5 that are coming forward saying this. And that's not even including Kayla's sister, the kid's aunt. She was pointing this shit out. You also have Aaron, who is questionable because he was getting cucked by Nick at the time. So
yeah,
I wouldn't exactly call him a reliable witness, but he's there. He's there.
Still technically a witness.
Yeah, it's on the board.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference between 1 person and 7 people.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is America and our education system sucks and a lot of people don't know how to do the math, but 7 is greater than 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. No matter how you do the math.
Exactly. All right.
Unless you're in negatives.
So do negative numbers even really exist? Do they even really exist?
Do we have time to discuss that philosophy? That mathematical philosophy?
Does 0 really exist?
Yeah, it does.
The Romans did not have a number to represent the concept of 0. Just saying. Because it's nothing. How can you have less than nothing? 1 is the loneliest number that can ever be. 2 can be as bad as
Well, you just
1.
figure out where your baseline is. And that's usually nothing, I suppose. If you have less than that, they always say, well, it can always get worse. That means you're in the negatives.
Damn. All right, so we move on to, after that, the next part that actually focuses on the kids, because that's the thing that was being brought into question here.
2 is a little bit better, but the loneliest number is still the number 1.
That's why God had to create things. He was just lonely. He was just sitting there in the void, and he was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm making something.
It's shockingly similar to the creation story of Pokemon.
Wait, was that really Arceus's motivation?
We don't know, and everything we're given is classified as a myth. So,
a myth. Is that what the government told you, extra hero?
But apparently he was the first, and he created everything after that.
He was just sitting there in the void, and he was just like,
yeah. But I disagree with it, so I'm changing the story around a little bit.
Oh, he's a heretic to the Church of Arceus.
You know what? You took that out of my mind. I was like, oh, wait a second. Am I a heretic?
A pock on your house, you heretic.
I say Mew was first.
Lord Arceus, please forgive this heretic for his sins. He does not represent us.
I don't believe he's the true creator, so it means nothing to me.
He's
powerful. He's powerful. I'll give him that.
Isn't the deal with that is that Arceus is basically God, but Mew is like the first, like the first mortal Pokemon, I guess you could say.
Right, that's the popular understanding of it right now.
Yeah, like Mew's basically like the
ancestor
Adam,
to all Pokemon.
Yeah, like
besides the ancient legendaries.
Yeah. So I mean that's how I always understood that's the concept, is that Arceus is God, Mew is basically like Adam more or less for the Pokemon world.
Yeah. I think that's what they want you to think.
That's what I'm going to believe, because they'll raid my house if I don't. All right, so we move to the second paragraph.
Pokemon trainers are known for just walking into people's houses.
That right. So we go to the second paragraph here, And it says that the home was in disarray and cluttered. It was reported from a church preschool teacher, one of the four, that the children had complained, and then we move on to page 3, of being hungry, not being fed, and wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days at a time and would start to smell. So this is the kids complaining to the teacher. This is not the teacher making shit up. This is the kids explaining this to the teacher. So are we going to call the kids a liar? Come on, people. What does a good book say? Truth from the mouth of babes. Are these new documents? No, like that's like I went over this shit like a week ago. What the like?
None of this seems new to me. So you've been talking about this shit for a while.
It's not, but like I have to go over this because people are putting out fucking misinformation when we have the fucking arrest or search warrant, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but
So
I expect them to put out misinformation. It's what they're
I'm having to put this shit at it. Well, it's my job to fight the misinformation. Will I die trying to do that? Probably. But damn it, at least I'll go down as a martyr. Unlike you, you heretic.
Well, no one can say that you turned against Arceus. And that's what's most important.
Exactly. I love you, Lord Arceus. Please do not strike me dead. I am a loyal follower. Your divine ship.
Does it discourage you that you weren't made in the Lord's image? Because you're not Pokemon like at all.
You don't know what I am. I might be a Pokemon.
Well, gotta catch you.
You ain't gonna catch you. You leave me. Listen. I ain't going anywhere near any balls, man. Okay.
The balls come to you.
I got my wow. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Oh, I was at the store the other day and I saw someone with a shirt that said, pain is temporary, pride lasts forever. And it was one of these shirts. It's supposed to be like a gym shirt, it's like yeah, keep lifting those weights and stuff like that because of the pride. But then I thought about it a little bit and I was like, that could be misconstrued during Pride Month. Pain is temporary, but pride is forever.
Michael says when that body cam footage drops, people are going to be acting like they never defended Nick. And I will be here to call them out on the hypocrisy.
No, I think they just doubled down.
I mean,
they're not defending him because they think he's innocent. They're defending him because they're friends.
Yeah, because of a misguided, twisted, fucked up.
The innocent shit is just to get you off their back. They don't believe it.
And that's why a lot of people are losing, what does it say up at the top? Credibility.
Yeah.
Baki says, hey, JeskerJames, I swear I would never understand that coal burner Melanie Mack. Seriously, she's an unhinged harlot. Dude, we went on.
What's up, Baki?
We went on forever talking about Melanie Mack last night. Jesus.
Y'all talked about Melanie Mack and I wasn't here? Damn, yeah. I missed something.
I can't stand that bitch. Oh, she struck Boxing Historian's channel. He might lose his channel because of her.
Wow.
Yeah, because of quote unquote cyberbullying.
Huh. That's insane for her.
Grow some balls, bitch.
What did Boxing Historian say about her?
Oh, just calling her out on her hypocrisy.
Dude, she's had campaigns against her, and she's going after Boxing Historian?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, what do you expect? Listen, what do you expect? She's punching down. She's a bully.
Oh, well, this is why she liked Eric July so much.
Of course. Melanie Mack is hideous inside and out. I said this last night about Melanie Mack. I tell people all the time, do not put your dick in crazy, but honest to God, just exposing my dick to her, I would probably get an STD. I don't even have to come in contact with her. Like, it will travel through the air alone, and I will get an STD from this bitch. Like, that's how bad it is. She probably looks like she does heroin.
I was going to say, I want to hear her thoughts on the Nick Rekieta thing, but then I realized she works for the quartering. So Never mind. I don't care. I don't care.
Um,
No, you can't trust any of these people.
so let's get back to another scumbag, and that's Nick Rekieta. So,
Mm.
first paragraph here, page 3, it says that one individual described Nick of having injection or track marks on his arms. Now, of course, this does not necessarily mean that he's doing drugs such as heroin. It does not necessarily mean that. It could
You think he
be.
has some sort of illness that he's taking medication for?
It could be like he could have diabetes or something, or as Wilford Brimley would say, diabetes.
I feel like he
And
would admit that so he can get some sympathy instead of people thinking he's a drug addict.
I mean, yeah. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
if that was the case, like, I'd be like, listen, guys, I developed diabetes. All right, what can I say? I like the sweets too much. They're
Yeah.
gonna. I mean, it is what it is. So, like,
Even his even his friends like that lawyer Kurt, uh, because he obviously takes a little shit for defending him. So I'm sure one of his friends would break the silence and be like, actually, just to like rub it in quote unquote haters' faces. Actually, you should feel bad because he's actually this.
yeah,
And don't you feel crunchy?
yeah. I mean, even
Yeah.
if it's not true, like these people could lie because that's what they
Yeah,
do
they
all the
could.
time.
Yeah, once they run out of options, they'll get around to that one. And
Oh
I
yeah,
do want my cut.
dude. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. When this trial starts, and I think it's at the end of August, he's supposed to go back to court. Um, it's going to be amazing to see the cope. It really is. Michael says he looked like he was nodding off in that stream he had before he was arrested. So I don't know. Heroin could be a possibility. Maybe.
Hey, do we think alcohol is a gateway drug, or do we think his drug
Um,
problem started with just drugs?
I think that Nick Rekieta had an addictive personality.
Mm.
Um, now this is
If
just
not
my
one thing, it would have been another.
exactly. Now this is just my speculation, and again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist, but and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think some people are just wired to be more prone to addiction
Yeah, they are.
than other people.
I am a psychology major.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, until I dropped out because I couldn't afford school.
Welcome to America, baby.
Yeah.
We've got
Well,
a we've got a
they missed out.
shortage.
I would have been
We,
incredible.
we've got a shortage of doctors and nurses and stuff, but we're still going to charge a butt ton for medical school. It's like it seems like it would be really fucking obvious what you need to do to get more doctors and nurses, dumbasses. But no, that's just the political science major coming out in me.
Mm.
All right, so let's see. I'm trying to remember where exactly I need to go after this because I there's like 11 pages of this in total, but I cut it down to like the 6 important ones. I cut out the ones that just have all the legal jargon where it's like, oh, the purpose of this warrant is to search for this, blah 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 blah. Like I'm just getting into the actual details of the case. Let's see. That's talking about the setup of his YouTube studio. Okay, like here it says that Aaron goes on to say that he has experimented with cocaine 3 times daily and Molly 6 or 7 times in the past. Recently, DM Holtz broadcasted a podcast from Rekieta's studio.
Damn, it almost got to the point where he was actually going to read his copy of Isom that he bought.
Well, you'd have to be on drugs to get anything out of that.
There will be no longer any debate. There'll be no what's his name, EVS trying to defend that. It's like, okay, well,
Or are you saying that Nick Rekieta likes Isom? Guys, I've just had a change of heart. Nick Rekieta is a guilty son of a bitch. Not because of what he did to the kids. It's the kids' fault, but because of supporting Isom.
He still hasn't read Cyberfrog.
Nick, why haven't you got Cyberfrog yet? I've been holding on to 2 copies of Cyberfrog 1 and 2 specifically for you. What are you doing? All right, here's where I need to go to. So M. Holt, which is Aaron, indicates in this blog that Nicholas needs help and that he needs to get help for the kids because of his substance abuse. He points out a time in the video where Nick has a white powdery substance on his nose. Yet there was a video where he has a white powdery substance on his nose. This was on a live stream. Rekieta has deleted the live stream, but you know the internet's forever.
Oh.
But yes, he had a white powdery substance on his nose. Jeez, I wonder what that could be. I guess he just, was getting some sugar out or something, or maybe he was baking a cake and had some flour on his nose. I don't know. Yeah, it talks about how Nick took the video off from YouTube and Rumble. But of course, the internet is forever; it's always out there. All right, then we move on to page 4.
Did a detective drew this up? Who did this?
This is the application for the search warrant.
Oh,
so this is stating all of the reasons as to why the search warrant was granted. So all of this was brought before a judge, and the judge was like, "Yeah, get this motherfucker. Right? Fuck yeah, here's your search warrant. Go for it, dog." That's exactly what the quote said, word for word, by the way.
ooh.
Like, get this motherfucker. Here's your search warrant, dog. It's like, that's beautiful, Judge. That's beautiful.
Yeah, Fraulein in the chat says powdered donuts. I mean, there's no proof that Nick Rekieta ever ate food. So
when you're a crack addict, why
even his kids are hungry.
He can't even feed his kids, let alone himself. Let's see. So the guy that was actually involved in this, the actual officer, is actually an expert in substance abuse cases, specifically in cocaine. So
wow.
Yes, he is a drug recognition evaluator for several years, and he says right here in the middle paragraph, it says, "It should be noted that your affiant was a drug recognition evaluator for several years, and based on your affiant's training and experience, the behavior of Nicholas in his video blogs indicates polysubstance use." Poly meaning many, multiple, meaning it is believed he was ingesting more than one substance based on his behavior, being both excited and nearly passing out. He has the yin and the yang going on. He brought balance to the force, I guess. This could be consistent behavior of using both CNS stimulants and depressants. Your affiant believes that the reports of neglect and controlled substance use are consistent with the previously mentioned information. Your affiant is requesting to search his address for the above listed items in relation to the welfare of the children in his home and in relation to a controlled substance investigation. Your affiant is also requesting to search Nicholas Rekieta. And that is the end of the search warrant request. So obviously, it was granted. And here we have a receipt, inventory, and return of all the items that were found when they searched the Rekieta's household. And this, of course, was done on May 23rd, 2024 at 9:13 a.m. in the fucking morning. And it even says premises. That's where they searched. It was the fucking premises and person. And so they actually checked out the people themselves. They should have checked out the vehicles. They really should have. They probably should have checked his device too and been like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck is all this anime on this hard drive? Are you one of them weebs? Take him down, boys. Take him down." I mean, shit, that's what I did. I went into the disability office and I told them I was a weeb, and instantly I was given a disability check because
and well deserved.
Yeah, the woman there was like, "Oh, you poor baby. Like, we'll get you help right now. My God." The brown stuff could either be heroin or a more concentrated form of, what the fuck is that? It could be heroin. It could be heroin. All right, so let's look at the fucking list, people. Here we go. And fuck whoever wrote this up, because my God, the handwriting is fucking terrible. I mean, holy shit. Officer, what the fuck is your name? Popfane, whatever his name is. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's like, dude, you're a professional.
Yeah, I thought my handwriting was bad. But we can still read it. It's readable.
Like this is
Barely.
this is a document that he knew someone else could see, right? It's not like a first draft of a story you're writing.
Dude, it had to be given to a judge at some point. I mean, my God, like he knew that. Holy shit. Okay, here we go. So, and it says fucking evidence. This is the fucking shit that they found at the premises and on the persons, which the people there at the time was Nick, his wife, and his whore. So let's jump into this. So we have number 1, a short tube of cocaine found in the master bedroom nightstand.
Wait, glitched in the chat says Common Core. This is Common Core handwriting. They teach you how to write differently.
I mean, I write in cursive. Like I don't even bother with print unless I have to.
Oh wow. You know, I hear they don't even teach cursive at a lot of places now.
They don't.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if it's good enough for the founding fathers to write the Constitution, and it's good enough for me, God bless it.
Yeah, but you're not speaking Old English ever.
Oh, I could. Thou art a thorn in my side, Sir Rekieta. I rebuke thee, sir. May thou go forth to the place of confinement that is ruled over by the federal powers of our land, aka prison. All right. So we have a black vial with a white substance and cocaine. Like a white substance plus cocaine, also found in the master nightstand. Red something or another cards. Oh, ID cards, I guess.
Credit cards.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Credit cards. That's a C. Fuck me.
No, fuck them.
Yes. You know what? You're right. Yes. Fuck them. And also fuck the teachers that graduated them from from fucking school.
Yeah.
Credit cards. So this was April's credit cards, which apparently had residue of, guess what, cocaine on them.
Yeah, well, you got to cut it with something, right?
There was a 22 spent something or another, probably a bullet, I guess. I don't know. It was also found in the master nightstand. Something AR, so automatic rifle, plus magazines that were in the master bedroom, or no, master bathroom. That says BA, so that's master bathroom. Who the fuck puts their AR, their automatic rifle, in the fucking bathroom? Is that how you plunge your toilets? My God.
I might be scared of like a gator coming out or like a boa constrictor.
Dude, I still have that fear of a fucking snake coming out of my toilet. Let's see. We have glass container.
I don't know how plumbing works, so I don't know if that's a founded fear or not.
A glass container, a metal container, another small glass container in the dresser in the master bedroom, a bag with cards and cocaine in the master bathroom, large something cut white powder. I'm guessing that was a line of coke that was cut in the master bathroom. A baggie, small baggies found in the master bathroom, or in a safe in the master bathroom. Is that what it says? Ziploc with white powder in it.
Michael, you're in my fucking head. Said those were Pokemon cards with a bag of powdered sugar.
Jesus. Tony says that Mincha scored a 125 on a live Mensa IQ test.
I knew she was smart.
Yeah, I mean, who is questioning that?
Well, you know.
Yeah, I know, but fuck those people. Fuck those people. Let's see what else we got here. So, okay, so that's a Ziploc bag. All right, so the list continues. That's the first 10 items. Then we go on to the next 10 items. We have a digital scale that was found in the master bathroom, which
I just bought a digital scale.
well, I was about to say, let's be fair. That could be for like some legal prescription medicine. All right.
Mm.
Let's be fair. Let's, not exaggerate it. It is what it is. Let's just go based on the evidence and take what we can from that.
I mean, you know what? You're being completely fair as long as you admit that you're ignoring all the other context that you just got finished reading. Fair to the point of stupidity. Fair and balanced. Hey, a scale balances. But not this type of scale.
Well, see, I love this, Michael. Nick needed that scale to weigh the unopened Pokemon cards.
Oh, that's a good point.
Nick needs rehab, but in order to do that, he has to admit fault. I mean, look, guys, the dude's fucking guilty. Like, this is evidence. This is shit they found in his house. I mean, at the very least, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he wasn't using. All right, it's still his house in his name on his property. That's at least possession. All right, so let's call a spade. I mean, and that's being very fucking generous. I mean, that's being super fucking generous.
So here's what's going to happen. He's going to get help. Because at the end of the day, he's a father. He wants to do right by his kids.
You don't know that.
I don't. I'm being stereotypical of, I guess, fathers I've seen in movies.
Wow.
Well, no, not even movies,
Okay.
TV shows.
I'm gonna let you in on
because movie fathers are a piece of work sometimes.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
I'm thinking of Bill Cosby. There you go.
Oh wow, dude, have you been under a rock for the last 10 years? Cause Bill Cosby is not the man you remember.
I remember him eating a sandwich on the Cosby Show.
It's like
hilarious.
that scene. It's like that scene in Family Guy, where Peter was watching the Cosby Show, but it was called The Cosby Show. Knowing what we know now, and like all the women in the intro were passed out, and then Peter was like, "Wow, I was so busy not seeing color, I didn't see all the rape either."
Oh wow! I mean, yeah, that was just like you saying. To be fair, this digital scale could be for. You were so busy seeing fairness that you didn't see all the.
I was so busy trying to control my own. I was so busy trying to control my own bias that I didn't see reality.
Let's hope he didn't have enough drugs to make a distribution charge stick, because that could be ruinous.
Yeah. So let's see here. We've got number 12, a metal pan with white powder in the master bathroom. Like everything seems to be in the fucking master bathroom. 2 something or another and 2 cutters that were found in the master bathroom. A $100 bill with white powder residue in the master closet. Okay. To be fair,
Your eyes are about to roll out of their head.
most bills in circulation actually have cocaine residue on them. That's been proven. I think it's like 85% of all bills in circulation have some trace of cocaine on them.
But
so
presumably not visible cocaine.
I mean, presumably not visible, but if they were to scan it, they would find some residue of it because, you know, cash is king when it comes to the black market. Just so to be fair, I'm slapping my fucking self right now. To be fucking fair, I probably have a dollar bill somewhere in this fucking house that has cocaine residue on it.
I think the problem is that people on the internet gave him too much money for not good reasons. If you're gonna give someone so much money for not good reasons, give it to Jesker.
All the money you were giving Nick Rekieta, give it to me. I don't want to do a regular job anymore. Give it.
He'll say crazy shit too.
I will say, listen, I'll say whatever you want. I'll hate whoever you want. Your enemies will be my enemies. Just pay me. My loyalty can be bought. All right. That is the capitalist way.
I wonder if anyone's ever done an own our enemies fund.
I seem to remember somebody of an amphibious nature that may have done something like that at some point in the past, and maybe ongoing with that. Let me get caught up with the chat.
Well, there's no new stories.
By the way, since it's probably going to get crazy up in this bitch in a little bit, if you guys want to make sure your chat gets read, because I can't read every chat, especially like that one night. Holy shit. I had 700 fucking people over the course of 4 hours in that fucking stream. Like, if you guys want to make sure your chat gets read, that's what super chats are for. I try to read all the chats, but I can't make any promises. Who the hell has $100 bill in their house these days? I mean, to be fair, I don't carry cash with me hardly at all. Unless I'm gonna like get like a lottery ticket or something, and that's like a couple of bucks. By the way, I do have a lottery ticket for tonight, so fingers crossed.
Huh. How often do you buy lottery tickets?
Once a week, maybe, but I only do like maybe $5 a week.
How often does the lottery do their drawing?
It depends on which game it is. Powerball, I think, is like 3 days out of the week.
Okay. So you're half stepping.
Yeah, I don't listen. Nick has a coke addiction. I don't want to develop a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
Still, though, that jackpot is $44 million tonight.
If you won the lottery once, do you think that would give you a gambling addiction?
No, I'd never play it again. Why would I need to play?
That's what they always say. That's what Nick said after his first hit. Never again. Just this once.
If I win that lottery tonight, I have $45 million in my bank account. Why the fuck do I need to bother?
Why do the rich keep getting richer? They can't help themselves.
Because of an exploitative economic system. You know what? Let's move on. If I don't watch it, George is gonna pop up. Actually, that would be good because then I can get somebody to pay me to kick him. Ethan Ralph, aka Guntson on Discord, that Juju passes. Oh yeah, Dick Masterson passes mid to friends off the show, so it is very possible that EVS. I mean, I don't know. Like we will talk about Riley and Mint. We'll talk about Riley and Mint after we get done with Rekieta. Let's see. People are talking about paper money. If I won the lottery, it's going straight. Oh yeah. Like if I won the lottery, the majority of it is going to go into investments, and I can live off the interest alone. Actually, hold on. Let me figure that out real quick. Let me. I've got a fucking calculator on my phone. I've got a phone on my calculator. Hold up. 44 million. Let's say 4% times 0.04. That is $1,760,000 a year. I can live off of that.
Hmm.
I can live off of that.
Well, not after you open up your theme park to rival Dollyland.
I would never go against Dolly Parton that way. Don't you ever accuse me of going after Dolly Parton that way. She is an angel sent from Arceus. Don't you start with me.
Oh, sort of mixing mythologies now.
That's
Huh?
right. All right, so
You are a globalist.
Number 15. Well, so there was something of a white substance / powder in the master bedroom closet. A scooper from the master bedroom closet, which, to be fair, what the fuck is a scooper? I mean, I use a scooper in my cat's litter box, just to be fair.
Maybe the white powder was laundry detergent, and
Well,
that
maybe
those
it
come with
was.
scoopers.
Well, you know what? You might be right.
But why in the world would they write that down on this list?
Why would it be on his fucking mustache in a fucking video?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he doesn't know how to wash clothes. Maybe that's why they had to keep wearing the same clothes. He doesn't know how to wash clothes right.
Him snorting laundry detergent would be worse than him snorting cocaine. Can you fucking imagine?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to get a load of clothes done if you sniff up the laundry detergent.
Let's see. 18, Springfield. That's another gun. So they found another gun. There was a handgun. Number 19, a handgun. Number 20, magazines with ammo.
What state is this?
Minnesota. You would think with all the Vikings out there, they would have axes instead of guns, but
I realize that Minnesota might be the state I know the least about. I never ever think of Minnesota.
I mean, no offense to Minnesota, but do you need to know anything about it? All right, so
crazy.
We continue on with the fucking guns.
I just realized I used to follow politics very heavy, and never once have I thought about. And you think about lots of states that you usually don't think about when you follow politics, but I've never thought about Minnesota. I mean, I'm just gonna look up who the senator from Minnesota is.
I think Minnesota.
It might all come back to me.
Well, I think Minnesota's a blue state, isn't it?
And Klobuchar. Oh yeah, they got. Oh yeah, they got.
Wait, I thought she was Iowa.
You know, all those states sort of blend into each other.
I mean, they do. They all look the same.
Oh, Amy, is she still senator? Yep, since 2007. Amy, I remember you. You made your introduction speech in the middle of a snowstorm.
That's how fuck, what was that president's name that was only president for a month? That's how he died.
But speaking of snowstorms, Nick Rekieta.
Yeah. You know, I'll do the George Lucas. It's like poetry, it rhymes. So we have ammunition from the garage, we have a Remington shotgun, and we have a bullet from the master closet. Right. So we've got drugs, we got hardcore drugs, we got guns, and we got 5 kids in the house, the youngest being 6. I don't see anything wrong with that if you don't. The Constitution gives me the right to put my kids in a harmful, unhealthy living environment. You know what I'm saying? And no commie Biden's going to come in and tell me otherwise.
Well, we have labor laws that say differently. So
Yeah, we have general fucking morality. All right, let's look at the chat. Let's look at the chat. Mike, wow. Michael said, "Been to Minnesota once. I'll never go back." That bad, huh?
Mm.
Oh shit! It's like, listen, I can't go back to Minnesota. They'll kill me if I go back to Minnesota. I gave everyone there AIDS. Minnesota has been blue since the Reagan years. I think Trump tried to win that at one point. Yeah, not good, Nikki. So again, let's just go over this one more time so that everybody fucking understands. It wasn't one person that was complaining about this. It was seven fucking people that we know of. That's what we know of. Number two, we have an entire list of all the fucking drugs that they found in the house. And we're not talking a little bit of the wacky backy, all right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about hardcore drugs. Shit that will fuck you up. Shit that should not be in the same house as a bunch of fucking kids.
Yeah, that's insane.
We have a list of this shit. Not to mention all the sexual deviance going on in there. I mean, how many times have these kids?
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it.
How many times have these kids walked in on mommy getting fucked? All right, I'm just like, Daddy, what's that man doing to mommy over there? It's like,
and the guy's like, I'm not your dad.
Yeah, Aaron looked at Nick and he said, "Hey Nick,
he's like,
in a couple of weeks, your kids are going to be calling me dad." It's like, damn. So again, you can come up with all the conspiracy theories that you want. Biden did it. The counties against Nick. The commie aliens from Mars are against Nick. Like, whatever you want to say, but it is what it is. The evidence is right fucking there. And I'm telling you, when the body cam footage comes out, it's going to be the cherry on top of the shit sundae. There's also going to be cocaine sprinkled on that sundae, by the way. So,
I mean, ice cream's already good. Oh, wait, that sundae's not made of ice cream. Never mind.
No, not even close. I mean, some people might call it a treat, but you know. Yeah, that fucking Joe Biden. That guy has been after Nikki since forever. He got up there in his inauguration speech. He was like, and I'm telling you right now, what we're going to do is in the next 4 years, I'm going to take down Nick Rekieta. You may be asking, who the hell is Nick Rekieta? And my answer to that is, I don't know. The people that are controlling me told me to say it. Jill knows who he is. Ain't that right, honey? I'm subscribed to him, Joe. It's like, that's sweet, honey.
I mean, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer that screwed over Vic Mañana. Yeah. He gave him some really shitty legal advice. I don't think he's actually practiced law in like 10 fucking years or something. I mean, seriously, like, it's like these, like, all, like, dude, and all the people in LawTube that have come out to sweep for this guy, I swear to God, it's like they went to law school to get a law degree, and instead of actually using it to practice law, they just went onto YouTube to become law tubers because they realized they could make more money.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made from drama.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Rekieta...
And the downside is almost non-comparable. Like, you could cause someone to lose a case, or you can be wrong about a story.
I think it was 2022 or 2023. Nick Rekieta made $700,000 online
Wow.
through like combined YouTube revenue, Patreon or locals, excuse me, locals. You know whatever the fuck. Like he made $700,000.
You think it's hard being Nick Rekieta?
I think it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously is now.
Yeah.
Guys, I want $700,000. If we get $700,000 tonight, I will put in my 2-week notice first thing in the morning. If you guys get me to 100,000 subs tonight, I will go in there and I'll tell my boss. I'll be like, listen, I have a fucking YouTube plaque now. Okay, I don't have to work a normal job. All right. So bye. So the last thing I'm going to say about this, because I think I've proven my point. I've come back with the receipts, and I am going to clip this segment, put it out as a separate video, so it's there for all time for everybody to see. So it's fucking out there, okay? But listen, I'll say this. You also have to remember that when the police came into the fucking house, one of the kids walked up to the police officer and said, "I'm hungry. Do you have any food?"
I hear you like donuts.
I mean, that's sad to think about, man. That's sad to think about. These kids actually went up to the police officers. They were so fucking hungry. They were begging the cops for food. I mean, that's really fucking sad. Jesker can be the next DSP. Damn.
The cops drop off the DoorDash.
Be like, listen, honey, I got you. All right,
They get there really quick by using their sirens.
I got you, honey. There's a Pizza Hut a block down the road. No one out Pizza's the Hut. Let's go.
Even the kids like, we're not that desperate.
No, yeah. They asked, like, when the cops busted into the house to arrest Rekieta, to search the home, the kids asked the cops for food. I mean, Jesus Christ. But so there it is, man. There it is.
I don't like to kick a man when he's down, but you had one job.
Yeah. Many of those law tubers made their annual income off of the debt trial alone. Good.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean that's what got Nick to be big in the first place.
Are you ready for the next lawsuit?
It may have been a change of clothes, but regardless, like they ought to be getting that from their parents. Food and clothes from their parents, not from the fucking police. What makes this worse is that Nick is a trust fund baby, has enough money to feed his kids, but he just had to be selfish and get high and neglect his children. Yeah. I mean,
this is what makes me think that he's not really in control of his habit. Because obviously he wouldn't behave like this if he was sober.
What I think it is, and this is, let me clarify out there. This is my speculation. But I think that Nick has lived this traditional Christian lifestyle and he regrets it. I think he hates being a family man. I think he hates the image he's built for himself. And he wants to just say, fuck it, and just live this hedonistic lifestyle. Which, dude, you created these children. All right?
But as a Baptist, what do you say about the fact that he was responsible enough, I'm not even going to put that in quotes, to take his children to church? Don't you like that, being a Baptist?
I mean, apparently he would just get up and leave in the middle of service, though.
Oh God!
It was only like half church, honestly.
He needed a so-called smoke break.
Yeah, a smoke break. Jesus. Yeah, I agree with Michael. Like I think he's a fucking hypocrite. Like that's the thing. Like I said it at the beginning of the stream. I think that he's a fucking hypocrite. The whole thing's a fucking act. A snort break. Wow. All right. So that's the Nick Rekieta situation. That's the warrant. I've proven my point. I've got the receipts out there. I'm going to clip this. It's going to go up as its own video. Now, that being said, we need to switch over to another hypocrite in this situation. That being, of course, fucking. Wait a minute. Why did I like this? Hold up. Why the fuck did I? No. So we need to go over to, again, like this is on the outside on Cap Turtle was talking about. Oh, he was trying to say that this entire fucking statement by EVS, that it's the kids' fault, that the kids are responsible, blaming the kids, shifting the blame from Rekieta, that this was EVS being sarcastic. I want you guys to listen to this, and I want you to tell me if you think he's being sarcastic. So here we go.
R2D tuna. The Nick thing's got me feeling some sort of way. Couldn't even hit like on your last stream. I found you and others through him. I literally feel sick. There are people who are, and I didn't know Nick was this disliked, but I want you to understand that, I am also, like him, very disliked for some of the stances that I've taken. And I get it. Like, I completely, I see what he's going through. I see what people are saying about him. And on the one hand, I like Nick, and I've known him for a long time through, not like personally, but live streamed with him. I've known him from the internet. I've made jokes.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I didn't know you were talking to me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Do I sound all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, then all good then. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
Yes, I am doing well. Just driving back from a job, so I thought I'd call in. I just had a quick few questions, if you didn't mind. I didn't want to cut you off or anything.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yesterday's stream, had a title with that you were watching. It seemed like you were going to watch the body cam footage or something, just from the title of the stream. What was the go with that? I know a few other people were saying that as well.
So it was body cam watch, which the whole point of it was for me to, because we kind of got off topic when Uncapped Turtle came in. It turned to a debate. So what I was going to go into is that I was going to explain that we're on watch for the body cam footage, that we're kind of waiting for it. And I was going to explain like when it's expected, like what's going on with it. And we kind of got sidetracked. Like it ended up becoming a debate with Uncapped Turtle at that point. So that's why I ended up going back and I changed the thumbnail, retitled the stream because it wasn't really about the original topic that I had planned for it.
Dude, that was an excellent use of a homonym, of a pun, and of a clickbait. Eventually,
I'm a real user.
Body cam watch. That's amazing. A lot of double entendre there.
I'm a real YouTuber.
You should be a rapper.
Wow. So I'm the next Eminem. Is that what you're saying?
You're the next Eric July.
Extra Hero, I will kick you from the stream. I swear to God.
I just mean that you're going to be famous for not being good.
That's not fame. That's infamy.
Fantastic.
All right. This gentleman has more questions for you.
Yeah, go.
You got things to answer for, sir.
Go for it.
I was just wondering about that because there was a few other people in chat and I was kind of confused and I was like, oh fuck, the body cam's out. Where? I want to see it. So that's all right. I kind of gathered that that no, it meant something else and you were just talking about what it potentially could be or something. All good. No, the other thing, because you seemed really upset about the whole Nick situation, right? right at the start. So I was just wondering what your, how personal you were with Nick. Just saying that just then on the stream anyway.
He's wondering if you're also being cucked.
Well, thank God, no. I'm
Okay.
not in a relationship at the moment, so I don't think it's possible for me to be cucked.
Well, not after Nick came to town.
So no, I've explained this in other streams. Like, I grew up with a parent that was a drug addict, and so I know what these kids are going through. And in fact, I think these kids probably have it worse because both of their parents are druggies. I at least had my dad and my grandmother there to help out. So in some ways, what these kids are going through is worse. But no, the reason why I'm so upset about this is because I've seen this shit before in my own family, and I've seen all the signs, and I'm just like, yeah, I know where this is going. Like, I know.
Oh, okay, so it's more just a concern for the children than you were, like, you actually were friendly with Nick online sort of thing. It's more concern for the welfare of others.
Right. Yeah, it's about the kids.
Yeah. No, I get that. Do you really think though that they're like the drugs really plays that much of a role in Nick's life, or do you think this is like a one-off? He might have learned his lesson and maybe he'll quit it. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've had two drug addicts in my family. One is my older sister, and one is my mother, and they have never improved. Period. So I'm not saying that addicts can't get better. I'm just saying I have no personal experience with addicts getting better. Like
the fact that you actually consider Nick and Kayla an actual addicts, that's what I find interesting.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went over all the evidence that was found, and we have all the reports from people, and to me that is all telltale signs that he's an addict.
Yeah.
And
so
the fact,
were you in Nick's Discord at all? Sorry.
No, to be honest with you, I try to avoid Discord
because you probably should, I guess. Yeah, you don't want to be involved in drama.
There's a lot of bad shit that usually comes out about Discord that ends up in a Turkey Tom video a lot of times. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Sir, do you think
I've only taken my penis and shots of my penis and put them on Discord a few times? But
you think Jesker's blowing this all out of proportion?
No. I think it's an interesting perspective. Like, I mean, it's hard to know because Nick's so adamant that you guys just don't know the truth, and he's trying to do these, like, I'm a Christian role model now, reading from the fucking Bible on stream. Like, it's just
wow,
like, what are you doing? Like, it's so boring as well. I know it's only for us locals, and so we're just watching a stream snipe of it. Sort of gauge what the hell's happening. But at the same time, like, I don't think all the drunk wino mums that he's sort of cultivated as his audience lately are going to want to watch, interpretations from the Bible.
Right.
I just don't know how well it's going to go over, but each to their own, I guess. Like, like, you got to hold on to your audience. I understand that. You don't want to create drama and start talking about the case or anything, even though he's doing that in private. But at the same time, I just think there's probably better ways to go than Bible streams and things like that. You're just gonna turn people off.
Well, if Nick
he's trying to do the Melanie Mac flip.
If Nick was smart, he would just come out and he would
count your blessings.
He would admit what he's done. He would ask to go into rehab, because the judge will actually take pity on him.
Yeah. Well, he seems like he's going to be defending it. Like he's going to be saying not guilty and taking this all the way to trial. As far as like what it looks like from the perception I get from looking at it, and the fact that he's so adamant that the truth has not been revealed yet. we've only got one side of the story.
All right.
Well, as he ought to learn from the story of Lucifer, pride always comes before a fall.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
Yeah,
he is setting himself up for
Well, pride comes in the summertime, so yeah, you're right.
he's making this worse on himself. He really is.
yeah, definitely. I think so.
But yeah, no, and listen, I admit, like, because of how I grew up, like, I do have a bias in this.
Oh, well, that's fine.
But
It's
I'm
alright.
honest about it. But you have people out here that are sweeping for Rekieta, and they have a bias too because they were friends with him. They actually had a relationship with them.
Well, I think it's more there's some loyalty there, especially when Nick was so fundamental in their channel growth, and
Yeah,
that is now probably part of their even probably primary income, if not
yeah,
secondary or tertiary income at the very least.
yeah. And when I say
Uh,
friend, I mean friend like like normal friend, but also like business partner, basically.
Well, again, like that's still a bias, and I don't know why. I mean, just admit it. Just be honest that you have a
But no
bias.
one ever admits that, though.
well, of course they do. Yeah, but you can. I don't know. What would you do if someone was the main reason why your channel grew to the size that it was? Would you sweep for them? I guess I wouldn't, because fundamentally, you still have your morals and ethics. You're just like, well, dude, you're a piece of shit. Like, I probably just would stay out of it. Probably be the
Yeah,
best way to do it.
morally, ethically, I couldn't do it. But also, if you want to get real cynical about it from a business perspective, I think it hurts you in the long run. Because once somebody crashes and
Yeah.
burns, do you really want to crash with them?
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, well, you probably are. Like, I don't think you're going to make friends by blocking everybody on Twitter that disagrees with you, and then try and sweep up for Nick Rekieta before, just because he's saying the truth isn't out there. Like, are you really going to put your faith in statements that Nick Rekieta's making? I'm not. Just because he's doing Bible verses, that doesn't mean he's a preacher's son or anything
No,
like shit.
no, he's using the Bible as a shield to.
Even the preacher was like, "Dude, you ain't right."
Yeah, I mean, it was the preacher that freaking reported it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. I don't know. I find it interesting.
What do you think is
Like
Nick's way back?
I've spoken to I've spoken with Nick a few times in VC. Like years ago, there was this like right at the start of the Vic Mignogna stuff, and even before that, that's when I was in his Discord. I went in there because of this guy named John Michael Kelly. It was this real autist character. He was a funny guy, but I was making a lore video about him, and he was really obsessed with Nick Rekieta and the big case, and he was very much about Kick Vic. Well, he wasn't Kick Vic. He just disagreed fundamentally with Nick Rekieta and said the defamation case is going to go nowhere. He's fucking over Vic Mignogna, and he totally called it. That's exactly what happened. The case went nowhere. It got thrown out basically, and Vic Mignogna ended up in a pile of shit and got fucked basically because. And you got to admit, with the GoFundMe and everything, like, I guess he agreed to it, but was he pushed into that situation a bit? I wonder. I mean, he certainly would regret it now, but I wonder how much did he want to go along with it in the first place, or did he just put his faith into others and it just went terribly in the end? Especially with Ty Beard being his counsel, it just seemed like that was a terrible idea in the end. But anyway, talking to Nick and VCs was just interesting. Like, the other people in the VC were all these like very weird, eclectic people, let's put it. That likes Kiwi Farms and stuff. Are you still there? I think someone cut out.
Yeah, his internet might have screwed up. He'll be back. I'm
Okay.
sure.
Oh, so he's the reason why it's making all that sound. Okay.
Oh no, wait, he left a thing in the private chat. Nah, he's out. He's out. He says, "Gotta go. Good chatting with you, mate. Keep up the good fight." All right, peace out, extra hero.
Okay. That might be the best. Just throwing that out. But yeah, it was weird because everybody else in that Discord would talk about really degenerate shit that they were getting up to in their real lives. I always found it really funny. That's why I sort of hung around a bit longer than just a couple of weeks that I planned to be there, because you had to pay to be in this Discord via the Patreon. It's the only way you could get access. Yeah, Nick was he was very close guarded though. He wouldn't, even in private, he wouldn't talk about the kids or anything like that. But he would get really drunk in the private VCs back then, but he wouldn't do it on stream. And he would swear like an absolute trooper in private, but he wouldn't do it on stream. I remember when I recorded him saying the F slur, I put it into a quick song and played it back for him just to be funny. And he made me delete it because he was worried that if that got put out and someone found that, then the Kick Vic people would use it against him on Twitter and totally be able to take him down just from him saying the F slur. So he was really guarded and very private. And I don't know, he just seemed like a really straight up and down person though at the same time. I guess you can't, when you have a paid Discord, you can't really choose the people that are in there, but I don't know. It was weird. That's why I was kind of wondering, like, what your relationship was like, if you knew him have you known him for years, or what you sort of, the vibe you got from back in the early days.
No, so I mean, like, I subscribed to Rekieta back when the whole Johnny Depp, Kyle Rittenhouse stuff was going on around that time, and
yeah, so when he blew up, okay,
yeah, that's when I first discovered him, and I liked it back then, but about let's see, I would say probably, gosh, at this point, it's probably been a year and a half, like, just getting drunk all the time on stream. It was just like, I've seen this before. Like, he's destroying his health. He's this is not entertaining. I mean, this is just kind of sad to watch. I was like, you know what? I'm out. And I mean, I didn't say anything at the time. I just unsubscribed and I left. But then once the kids got involved in stuff, at that point I was like, okay, this really reminds me of what I grew up with. And I guess just some kind of reflex, something in me triggered where I was like, I'm going to make a stream about this. I'm going to start talking about this.
Yeah. Well, why not? I mean, you're passionate about it, so why not?
Yeah. And plus,
you're not doing it for the grift. You're doing it because you want to.
Right. And plus, there's also, like, because I've gone on and on about Eric July and the Rippaverse and everything. And
yeah, I don't know anything about that. Like, so it all goes over my head. I'm like,
yeah.
What's happening?
But to me, like, if I'm going to call him out on if I'm going to call Eric out on his hypocrisy, and I don't do the same thing with Nick, that would also make me a hypocrite. So to me, it's like, we need to, and again, like the subtitle of the stream, you can see it at the top. It's credibility. And so if we're going to keep our credibility as a community, like, we need to be able to call out everybody when they, when they're hypocrites, when they do stuff like this. We can't just protect people just because we have some kind of association with them. I mean, people aren't going to take you seriously. They're not going to find you credible. And that matters to me. Like, having some level of credibility matters to me.
Well, yeah. Oh, we're in the sector that Nick sort of originally came from, man. Yeah, you'll go under the bus very quickly for anything. So, yeah, everyone was ready to sort of talk about all your bad habits if you got caught doing anything like that. So,
yeah.
Because I remember when Nick first started, like, because he was sort of within the same. I don't know what. I don't know how. I'm guessing it's because of the Kiwi Farms, but he had a similar audience, or a lot of his audience were the same people that were watching a lot of the content that was happening within the sector that we're a part of.
Yeah.
And like his first big stream that blew him up within our little circle was the Tonka versus Warski fight that was supposed to happen. So Tonkasaur and Andy Warski were going to fight each other, and because Tonkasaur had been going around on the internet saying, "I'm going to fight you real life. You need to fight me real life," to like over 107 people, I think it got counted up to.
Mhm.
And so Warski finally said, when he challenged Warski actually said, "All right, I will fight." And then Keemstar, I think, was going to set it up or something like that. You know, it was actually going to be a professional fighting thing. And Tonka did every bloody thing he could to get out of it. And it came down to the blood work, and Tonka just had to get this blood work done because he had changed his legal name for some reason, which stuffed everything up and all sorts of other stuff. Anyway, he ends up calling in right before the fight's about to happen. It looks like Tonkasaur is not going to participate because he hasn't got his blood work in on time. And out of all the streams he chooses, for some reason he goes on Nick Rekieta's stream, and I think it was to talk about the in and outs of his contract, the fight contract, and why the blood work was stuffed up, and how it's not Tonkasaur's fault, which was basically, you know, it was Tonkasaur's fault. He was just trying to get out of the fight because he's a weasel. You know, and so Nick Rekieta lets Andy Warski call in, and of course, all shit hits the fan, and it becomes absolutely wonderful. And there's this famous gif of like Nick Rekieta doing a thumbs up to the camera with a whiskey in hand, as like it just went totally off the rails, and they're just spurging out at each other.
Right.
It was quite funny. So that was like his first big stream.
Yeah,
and it only grew from there.
And like we was saying, the fight was going to be in Knoxville, which is basically like right next door to where I am. Like I'm like an hour's drive from Knoxville. So
yeah. So you knew about all of that. You're following that back when that happened.
Yep.
So did you see that Nick Rekieta stream then? Do you remember that?
I probably did. I don't remember it though. But yeah, I probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and again, like I've been completely honest with people as far as like my bias with this, like looking at it from the kid's perspective. Like I've shown fucking people like how fucking awful the bedroom I grew up in as a child was, like living in that drug den of a house that my mother had. Like I'm being completely honest with people, and I hope people respect that, you know, just laying it out there for people. Like I hope they can see where I'm coming from, even if they don't agree with me. But no, you know, with my own situation, like with my mom and everything, I mean, she's in prison right now because of drug related stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, we were talking about earlier about can Nick get better? I don't know, because see, the thing is, the addicts in my family never did get better, and they're still doing what they're doing, and they don't think they're doing anything wrong. And when I see Nick Rekieta go out there and do his live streams and his statements after the arrest, and he doesn't come off as somebody that feels any kind of remorse. He doesn't think he's in the wrong at all. And I've seen that over and over again. And people like that usually don't get better, because it is more painful for them to admit the truth, to come to terms with reality about what they are and what they've done. That's more painful for them to admit that than anything else. And so they will try and shield themselves from that any way that they can.
Yeah, like I mean, there's definitely got to be some truth to what Aaron's saying. I mean, it seems like what Aaron's been saying is pretty much like, why would he lie? There's no purpose to throw himself under the bus and say, yeah, we're being degenerates. I'm married. I got
I mean,
fucked. I
yeah,
gave
I
my
mean,
hot wife away. You know,
and
like, okay.
and I mean, even if you don't believe Aaron, again, there's 6 other people that was reporting this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the police are saying, here's a big bag of coke. Like, I mean, it's sort of
Yeah,
like I just don't get why Nick is even trying to say, well, the truth will come out. And it's like, yeah, but that's a big bag of coke, dude. Like, that's a lot of coke. I'm guessing that the charges will probably get downgraded because they'll have, like, of course, Nick's going to get them officially weighed. And as soon as you take all the if they're just over 25 grams, like it was 26 something, you know, that all there needs to be is 2 grams of packaging, and then that drops down to a way lesser charge, as far as I would understand it. So, um, but at the end of the day, it's still a fucking shit ton of coke.
yeah,
So I just don't understand how he can't just he addresses the alcohol and says, "Oh, we're not drinking on stream anymore," but doesn't even say it was an issue or was a problem. It's just like, "Oh, oh no, I was sick, and that's why I looked fucking horrible on stream. It wasn't because I was drunk and high." I mean, I guess he did infer that he was drunk and that he was drinking a bit too much at one point, but yeah, just to not even acknowledge that. Oh yeah, there was being coke in the house. We've had a big bag of the coke there. Like, it just seems weird. But I'm not sure, like, what addiction with coke is even like. Like, is it the same as other drugs? Like, do you have massive withdrawals from that sort of shit? Like you would expect, if that was the case, then if it was anything like other opiates and stuff, then you would think like Nick would be rolling around on the floor in pain, not doing Bible streams even this far on, unless he's still continuing to use it. So,
which I think is a real possibility.
oh yeah. Well, that's what you're in agreement with the quartering, I think it was, because he had the same thing where he's had personal experience with drug addicts, and basically his thing is you don't trust drug addicts, you don't trust what they say, and so
No,
he's just say like even the cops coming in and saying you're gonna go to jail, buddy. Wise up, we're taking this big bag of coke and all your guns and and your kids.
yeah,
Like that's not even going to be a deterrent enough
no.
for him.
This
That's
this
what
is
he
not
thought.
his rock bottom. I can tell you right now, because so my grandmother, God bless her soul, she was always trying to help my mother and my sister out. She never gave up on them, and I can tell you right now, like she spent. I asked her. I said, "How?" Like on my older sister, just her alone. I asked her. I said, over the decade plus that you've been trying to help her, how much money have you spent trying to help her? And she was honest with me. She said, $120,000.
Hmm.
And that girl is still out there. And dude, back in 2022, she was in and out of jail 20 times in 1 year.
Hmm. Well, I
Uh,
don't think Nick's at that level, but I think he's a high function. If you would just say that he was an addict, then he would be a high functioning addict, where he can still hold down a job and do and work and everything. He just happens to do coke at the same time. Oh,
well,
glitched OTR said, you don't get sick, Bath. It's more just a bad desire. There you go.
yeah, I don't know. I've never done any kind of drug like that. I have no desire to do any kind of drug like that.
No, I don't even know where you get coke. I think young people know where to get coke in Australia, but
See, I hesitate to call him a high functioning addict because, I mean, the dude was so coked out of his mind, he was jerking off on stream. For God's sakes, I mean,
he was doing something. Yeah, that was weird.
this is his job. Like, I mean, he's a lawyer, but let's be real here. YouTube is his job,
Well,
and
yeah, of course, it's been his job for ages. I think a few years ago, I remember him saying he only had a few other little cases, and he was basically just wrapping them up and waiting for them to close. and then
Yeah.
otherwise he was just dealing with friends and family personal matters, like speeding tickets for April, that sort of shit, and that was it. So he hasn't been practicing any law in ages.
Yeah. But you know,
Well, it'll
you
be
can,
interesting to see, I guess. Yeah,
you can
Feels
see
good
the
now for
decline
it.
on his streams. So I don't know, like, and the fact that he wasn't taking care of his kids, I really hesitate to call him a high functioning addict.
Well, high functioning. I mean, high functioning still means that you can drop down. I mean, you're certainly going to fuck up because you're an addict, but high functioning, I think, just means that you're still holding down some sort of job and, you know, trying to keep the family together and paying the bills and those sorts of things. Yeah. It's not like you're on the streets breaking into cars, um, getting what you can to get your next fix, that sort of stuff. I think that's what I mean by high function. I remember someone just said that a few years ago. That someone was a high functioning addict, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting term.
Well,
Okay.
so for me, the thing is though, is that Nick is a trust fund baby. I mean, Nick has a lot of money, so him being able to pay the bills and all that stuff, like that wouldn't really be dependent on his job necessarily. Um, it, if he didn't have all this money backed up, if he didn't have all this reserves of cash that he can rely on, he probably would be out doing that type of stuff for his next fix.
Oh well, of course, yeah. Or
So
he'd be
that
starting to
that
pawn his possessions, getting rid of it, selling off investments,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, of course. Oh
So
yeah, I
that's
agree
why
with
I
that.
hesitate to call him a high functioning addict, is
I think
because
I
he's
think
in a
high
very
function.
unique
Yeah,
he's in a very
I think.
unique situation.
I mean, it's just I mean, we're just arguing on definitions. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's just.
No. Yeah, I feel you. But no, I again, like I just don't have a lot of hope for the guy. I'll just be honest with you, because
So
given my own
used by addicts. Oh no,
given my own personal
on high functioning.
experience, I have no reason to. I have no reason to. I mean, my mother is sitting in a prison right now, for using and distributing drugs.
Okay. She just wasn't very good at it then, obviously. She got caught. Okay.
I mean, I don't. I mean, listen, I would be fine if she was to just stay in there until she kicks the bucket, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
And the same thing goes for my older sister. Like the Boondocks had it right. Some people need to be in jail.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it's like in Australia, there's a heap of my old friends that ended up just on disability and pension because of mental health, which is just complete bullshit. It's just because they're lazy and fat and smoke bongs for their morning breakfast. Um, but they're not employable. So it's sort of like, well, oh, they sit on us and do nothing, and the government pays.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
what else are they gonna do? They're
I'm
incapable of fucking working.
well, I mean, some people do have like legitimate disabilities. They're
No, but not these people. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just something.
Well,
It's I get that. Yeah, as in there's people that just can't hold down a job. There's people
yeah.
that can't fucking just
I mean,
get it
there's like
together within the society that we.
there's like one guy that where I work, and like everybody agrees, they're like he should not be working. Like he needs to get on disability because he's like physically he's just not capable of holding down a job. It's a physical thing, and the only reason he's working is because of ego. Like he just can't admit like he's really in bad shape, and he just can't bring himself to admit it. But like we're all like, no, like he should be on disability. Like for his own sake, he should be on disability. But no, there's a lot of abuse in the system, though. I'll agree with you there. But no, it's going to be interesting. I think when the body cam footage does come out, and hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later. I think a lot of people are going to have egg on their faces. I really do.
Well,
no, go ahead.
well, Nick was on stream and he was asking, you know, he legitimately was like, why? I can't understand why people would want to see the body cam footage. So what are you talking about? Like, you would be asking for the body cam footage and getting all excited and jumping up and down with glee if it was anybody else except for you. So it's just so weird that he acts like that and says like things like that. Like,
Because he's an
how can you not even-
egomaniac.
It is, yeah. I'm starting to see that. Like, it's just like, I think like it's what Aaron said. And it's sort of the impression I got in the VCs where he would love listening to other people about their sort of what they've been getting up to and that, but he would never sort of reveal too much about himself. But he would always dig for more out of others, and it was like he was trying to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah,
but then he would give stuff away still, and at the end of the day, he wasn't as smart as he thought he was, which is what Aaron said about him.
Yeah.
As well, so.
Well, see, again, like it's what I said before. People like that would rather create this lie surrounding themselves than to admit to the reality of just how bad off that they really are, because it's too painful to look at reality. Like,
yeah, or he's just putting up a front or something. It's weird because then there's all. Have you heard about the text messages he's been sending to people behind the scenes, like to some Christie lady that was on Aaron's stream? I don't know these people, but I just saw that. I caught some of the live stream. And I just found it interesting.
Is that recently?
Yeah, that's recent. It was yesterday.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
So it was. I think. I'll just call her Christy because I think that's what her name was. She was trying to get in contact with April because she was friends with April, and Nick intercepted the conversation and said, no, April doesn't want to talk to you. And, oh, by the way, you tell Aaron, like, because he had seen or he knew about the fact that she had been on streams with Aaron. And, you know, oh, by the way, you tell Aaron this. You tell Aaron that. This is what I think about what you said. And you don't know what the fuck you're talking about and all this stuff. And just wait until the truth reveals himself. And Aaron's a piece of shit. He left April's belongings out in the rain, which was the day that they got arrested, that they were supposed to come pick it up, by the way. You know, Aaron did this and Aaron did that, you know, no responsibility, no, like, nothing to say anything, just attacks, basically.
Yeah.
Just attacking a lot of vitriol.
Again, I've seen that with my mom and my older sister. Like they always believe that it's somebody else's fault. It's never their fault. Every time.
Yeah.
Every
so
single time.
Because it's coming off so weird. It's like, dude, you're doing Bible streams and saying, wait till the truth comes out.
Dude, addicts are weird.
The whole other side of the story is just like, seems so fucking cut and dry. Like,
addicts are
so
weird,
cut
dude.
And dry.
Addicts are weird.
It's like, what? How can you defend this?
I
just defend it from that stance? It's so odd. Like, nothing to see here.
I tried to explain this.
Burning down.
I tried to explain this to my grandmother when she was trying to help my older sister. I said, Mama, I said, listen, you can't help her. Like, you are under the presumption that her brain works like ours does, like her mind functions like ours. You don't understand. Like, our idea of a good time is ordering up pizza and watching a football game on a Saturday afternoon. Her idea of fun is going and getting high at a crack house. She does not think, her brain does not function in the same way as ours. You're not going to be able to change her. And I can never get that through her head, because I tried to get her to stop because she was wasting money, time, and energy. And this is all while she was going through chemo too, for God's sake. She had cancer. Yeah. And I could never get it through her head. And when I saw how my mom and my sister treated her, I mean, they would mentally, verbally, and physically abuse her. I
Oh, of course, yeah.
I came to the point where I have no sympathy or mercy for addicts. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I wish that I would get the message that both of them would have just overdosed at some point. And it'd be like, well, thank God the nightmare is over.
They're just money vacuums, and then like, if you give them money, then that's all they're gonna see.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get desperate, and then that's when they come calling again at their most desperate moments, because that's all they want, that's all they see. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I get that.
And yeah, it's just, and again, that's harsh. It's cruel. I don't deny that. But like, how the hell else am I supposed to feel when I just see somebody just constantly doing the same shit over and over and over and over? And it's just like, all right, like, I know where this is going and I know what the end result of this is going to be. Can you just get to that point and stop wasting everybody's fucking time?
That's what so many others say anyway. I mean, Gordon Ramsay says that about his brother. Right? They cut him out because he just kept coming back and was basically ruining everybody else's life because they're trying to help, you know? That's all he was good for, is fucking just life ruining.
Dude, we were talking about earlier in the stream, like, winning the fucking lottery, and like I bought a ticket for the Powerball tonight. Like, we'll see. But like,
Good luck, sir.
one of the things I would do if I won that money, I would move so far away from here and away from all of that crap, because I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I
New Zealand.
I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's just such a fucking stain and a drain on your life, having those people involved. Which, I mean, I have not had a full conversation with either one of them in I don't know how many years. I left my mom's house when I was 15 years old, because I've always had like this just innate sense of justice, and when I got old enough to realize, like, oh, like, my mom is one of the bad guys, I was like, okay, I'm out. And I moved in with my grandmother, and I spent time with my dad, because my dad was a really good person. But I was just like, if we end up staying in the same house, like, one of us is going to end up killing each other. Like, that's how bad the arguments were getting. But I want nothing to do with either one of them. And I told my grandmother this, like, when it was getting close to time for her to pass, and she knew she was getting close to the end. She asked me, she said, I want you to take care of your sister and your mom. And I was just honest with her. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to change. They've proven that. I'm not wasting my life taking care of them.
Yeah. And you should.
And I respected that woman enough to just be honest with her. I wasn't going to lie to her.
No.
But
my guess, I don't want to make assumptions, but my guess would be that if there was any inheritance to be had, then that's all the mother and sister would be coming back for anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say this: my grandmother was wise enough to where, me and my brother were the ones that really took care of her when she got cancer, and she was wise enough to where she did give everything over to us. Like, she split it right down the middle between us. Like, we own her property, we own her house. Any financial assets she had, she gave to us. We split it right down the middle. And she was smart enough to realize that neither one of them could be trusted with that stuff.
No. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah.
But no, that's my story. That's why I'm invested in this, because I look at those kids, those 5 kids, and I'm thinking to myself, which one of them is going to grow up to look at their parents the same way that I look at my mom? Because I guarantee you one of those 5 is going to grow up. Statistically, one of those 5 is going to grow up and feel that way. They're going to look at their mom and dad. They're going to look at Rekieta. They're going to look at Kayla, and they're going to be like, I want nothing to do with you. And
so are they still living out of the house, do you know?
the kids?
Yeah.
Last I heard, they're with the grandparents.
So they're still there. Okay, well, that's pretty good.
And
And then April is supposedly in the guest house or whatever.
Yeah.
So they say technically, she's not living with them, but she is in the house that's on the same property. Okay.
As far as I know, the kids are not with them, and thank God. Like, I hope he never gets those kids back. Ever. For the sake of those kids, I hope he never gets them back. But like, even if my mom and my sister got clean, there's just too much bad history there to where I can't get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just as simple as I'm sorry at that point.
Yeah, I couldn't get past what they've done. It's just every time I looked at them, like, just all the bad shit would just come up. And maybe I'm wrong for feeling that way, but like I can't. I mean, it's how I feel. And I'm not going to deny, like, it's not like no child should ever view their mother that way. No child should ever view their mother that way.
No.
But she caused me to develop like that. And you know, I can't change how I feel.
Nor should you.
I mean, I've said openly on stream, like, the only time I want to see that woman is when she's on her deathbed, so that I can just lay out everything that she fucked up on, and she can't do anything to deny it. And as she takes her last breath, I hope the last emotion she feels is guilt and remorse for what she did. I hope that she feels as powerless in that final moment as she made me feel when I was a child, growing up in that drug den. And I'm not ready to talk about this openly yet, but there was some shit that went on in that drug den. That it gets pretty fucking horrible. Some of the stuff I had to go through. It wasn't just the drugs in there. It was other stuff, but that's something I'm not ready to be public about.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking bad. It was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But so let me actually jump into this, because again, like, one of the things that people were saying is that EVS was being sarcastic here. That he was Gabriel's right. Statistically, one of the kids could also become an addict themselves, and this could repeat, like history could repeat itself. That's true as well. So let me do this for EVS video, and because one of the things people have been saying to try and cover for this is like, oh, EVS was being sarcastic when he was blaming the kids, and it's like, I want you guys to watch this. I want you to look at the body language. I want you to look.
Say this.
I want you to look at the tone. Listen to the tone of voice. Look in his eyes, and I want you to tell me, do you see sarcasm here? Because I don't. I think he's being dead ass serious. So here we go.
R2D tuna. The Nick thing's got me feeling some sort of way. Couldn't even hit like on your last stream. I found you and others through him. I literally feel sick. There are people who are, and I didn't know Nick was this disliked, but I want you to understand that, you know, I am also, like him, very disliked for some of the stances that I've taken, and I get it. Like, I completely...
All right, so right here, this is what I'm talking about. They can't admit their bias. So EVS was, of course, canceled from DC and everything for his political opinions. And Nick Rekieta has very similar political opinions to EVS. And I think that they've been fighting this culture war together for so long that he cannot separate himself from Nick Rekieta because he's wrapped up his identity in people like himself. And like he looks at Rekieta as kind of like a reflection of himself in a lot of ways. So in his mind, this isn't being done for the well-being of the children. This is a persecution of a ally in the culture war. And he's not able to get out of that mindset. In some ways, I feel like people like EVS has been fighting this culture war for so long that it's really kind of fucked up their heads and it's kind of skewed their judgment to where now they don't have the proper ability to be reasonable anymore. So when shit like this happens, they have like an emotional knee-jerk response. And that's what I mean by bias, which again, I am to some extent having an emotional response because of the situation I dealt with my mother, but I can actually admit that. I can recognize that. EVS, it seems like he's not able to admit that or recognize that he has a bias in favor of Nick. And I appreciate that. Thank you. And I appreciate that too. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I have a smart chat. I have an intelligent chat. Even when they disagree with me, like they still they're intelligent about it. Like they still understand where I'm coming from. And that I appreciate that. That's called being intellectually honest.
I see what he's going through. I see what people are saying about him. And on the one hand, I like Nick and I've known him for a long time through, not like personally, but live streamed with him. I've known him from the internet. I've made jokes with him. I've watched him drink whiskey. So I like him and I'm on his side. On the other hand, there are the allegations against him. Clearly he's using drugs. Clearly, in the process of using drugs, some things about his life have fallen through the cracks, and he's currently going to be put through the legal system for those things. I don't care what people say. I like Nick, and I want him to get through this. That doesn't mean I want him to escape accountability. I think he needs to be held accountable so that he can find reality underneath his feet and start to rebuild his life, right? And that's what I want for him. But do I want him to suffer? Like these people want him to suffer and then like go to prison. And somebody said on Twitter, they said, Nick should be in prison for what he did to those children. What did he do to the children exactly? These people some of you guys are crazy. You understand? Some of you people are fucking nuts for what he did to his children. Now, I grew up in a house with I had 8 brothers and sisters. There were 9 of us. My dad, who you guys met and you liked, he's turned his life around. When I was growing up, my dad had a problem with drugs, and he neglected us. He didn't pay the bills, all kinds of problems. Like, I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like. You can't tell now. I know what it's like to go to school having not eaten all day because there's no food in the house. I know what it's like to not have lunch money in my pocket. I know what it's like to be wearing old clothes from 3 years ago that are unwashed. I know what this all is. I know what it's like. My parents dropped the ball too. But if they had gone to prison for that, our lives would have been immeasurably worse than.
Okay, somebody please. First of all, do you guys see any sort of sarcasm here? Because that's what Uncapped Turtle was trying to say, that he was being sarcastic. Do you guys see any kind of sarcasm so far?
Nope.
I see none. I'm listening to the tone of voice. I'm looking at the eye movements. I'm looking at the body language. I see no indication from any of the signs he's giving off that this is sarcastic.
So I'm guessing he's about to say something very controversial about the kids, because at the moment he seems to be coming from the same experiences that you have as well. So
Yeah, he's about to say something very controversial.
okay.
All right, so
kind of waiting for it because I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
like,
here
okay,
it
this all
comes.
seems pretty reasonable.
Here it comes.
All right.
They were, okay? We would have been like people saying, well, you should send your parents should go to prison. We would have been like, fuck you, get away from my mom and dad, which is probably what the Rekieta children would say to the same right.
Okay, first of all, that's projecting. I'm telling you right now, when I was a kid, I can't tell you how many times I wish the cops would have locked up my mom. I wanted her to go to jail. So he doesn't know what these kids are thinking. He doesn't know what's going through their minds. And I don't either. But what I'm trying to point out is that he's saying this as a definitive statement. What I'm trying to say is that there is a possibility that one of the kids, because there's 5 kids, there's a good possibility that one of the kids is going to grow up and have the same mentality that I do towards my mom, which is not a healthy mentality, and I acknowledge that, but that could be the case. Number 2, like what Gabriel was saying earlier, like one of the kids statistically has a high chance of growing up to becoming an addict themselves and doing the same thing to their kids at some point. So the cycle repeats itself. Or it could happen like with EVS, where one of the kids ends up having a good relationship. But to say that, like, oh, it's definitive, like these kids are, I mean, the kids were begging for help. They were going to their teachers and going to the cops and begging for help.
Supposedly that's on the body.
Yeah, and it's in the warrant. It's in the application for the search warrant. That's one of the reasons the search warrant happened. That's one of the things that sparked it. So let's continue.
Righteous social justice warriors who are demanding that Nick and Kayla go to prison. They'd say, fucking get away from our parents. We don't want them to go to prison. We love our mom and dad. We understand they have a problem. They got to get straightened out. We want life to go back to the way it was. It's not going to.
He doesn't know that. Again, he's saying this all as a definitive statement. I always preference what I said with what these kids, how these kids would respond. I always preface it by saying, statistically, this is probably what could happen, or there's a chance that they might end up like this. I always I don't say, and again, like I try to not say definitive statements when I don't know for sure that that's what's going to happen, because obviously I can't know what's going to happen, but I can look at the statistics and I can tell you there's a chance that this is going to happen because there's fucking statistics out there, because this is usually what fucking happens. That's called bringing evidence. It's called, I mean, that's what you do when you're trying to analyze a situation. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Go back to the way it was if they're in prison, okay? So that's the first thing. Don't think you're speaking for the children, their children, when you're saying Nick should go to prison.
And that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, that he literally just spoke for the kids. All right, let's continue.
Fuck you. That's what they would say, because that's what I
get. Fuck you. That's
what
they
would say.
That's what they would say, because
would say to you when I was 14, 15, and in similar circumstances, okay?
So he's just projected himself, not saying, well, maybe this could be the case. Statistically, this is the case. He literally just made a definitive statement that this is what the kids are going to say because that's what I would say. Dude, not everybody is you. Not everybody's going to react to this situation like you do.
I think this guy's a bit of a narcissist. I mean, from what I know about him, like I think he really gatekeeps a lot of Comicsgate stuff. It's like, oh, it has to have this logo and our permission to be part of Comicsgate.
Yeah,
That seems like bullshit. Like, it should be that any independent person could put their fucking a Comicsgate logo on their independent work, and that it just seemed like a money making grift, and it all was led by him and I've heard like he's a real prick behind the scenes about certain things, especially when he doesn't get his way with money and that.
Also, I want to point out, like, EVS is saying, he's trying to project, like, like he came out of this fine and stronger and everything, and he's actually going to say this, like, oh, I guarantee this is going to be good for the kids are going to come out stronger. Dude, you want to talk about how, like, there was points in your childhood where you went hungry? Have you looked in the mirror? Like, it seems like you've overcompensated on the food later in life. That's called an eating disorder, my guy. Did you ever think that maybe that stems from some childhood trauma that you've not addressed? That might be an issue that was created by the situation your father put you in?
Nimdok said EVS's dad was just a pot dealer, pothead, ex-Mormon. So he wasn't even... Okay.
Yeah, like we're like the drugs we're talking about. This isn't like smoking cigarettes or the wacky backy or anything like that. Like, we're talking about hardcore drugs that will fuck you up. I mean, seriously, fuck you up. I mean, that's a crazy comparison. All right, here we go. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to quickly tell a quib. It was just that my brother had this old friend that we don't really know, but because he knows where my brother used to live at my place where I'm living, every now and then this guy he takes meth now. It's like years after, and he turns up in our pool sometimes. So we'll come home and find this guy, usually with a guy that just got out of jail for some reason. I don't know why. That's the case twice now, and we find him swimming around in the pool like this is a socially acceptable thing. Yeah, I'm just going to turn up at this guy's brother's house and have a swim because that's socially appropriate to do. And it's just so like, hey, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you doing? But yeah, sorry, that was my clip. So.
No, you're right though. It's a crazy comparison. It's nuts. All right.
Yep.
Let's continue.
The other thing about it is, and this is kind of if you're thinking from the kids' standpoint, from the kids' perspective, we all learned how to stand on our own 2 feet. You see this person here who's sitting before you who doesn't give a shit what Gary Nerdrotic says or does, what Eric July is gonna, like, their efforts to deplatform me and all this stuff. Marvel and DC, like, I don't need them. I can do this by myself. And one of the reasons why is because I grew up having to look after myself. I grew up having to become self-reliant, having to make plans, having to, cope with life, as it were, being unkind to me, being unfair, and finding a way to be self-reliant. I didn't become a welfare kid. I wasn't I was never, I never took a handout. I never did anything like that. I got a job when I was 15 frying chicken, and I worked all through high school. The minute I could work, I started taking care of myself. And then when I started making real money, like at 17, 18, at the caricature stand, and then going to work for Harris Comics, I started paying the bills around the house with that money. So, listen, this stuff actually is probably, I know this sounds hard to believe.
Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Some of you pussies, this is actually going to be good for the kids, okay? In a way, it is. They're going to grow up to be stronger, more self-reliant, as long as they can, they realize, to some degree, we got to make sure our own clothes are clean. We got to, we got to feed ourselves. It all sounds terrible. It's going to be better for them. It was better for us in a way. It built stronger Americans, okay? Which is how I see it. So,
That's it. Built better Americans. Did he put the word Americans in there?
Oh my
Stop
God,
Americans.
guys, what was I arguing with Uncapped Turtle with yesterday? He was saying, well, EVS didn't say this was a good situation for the kids. What the fuck did EVS just say? This is good for the kids.
I thought he blamed the kids. I thought someone said he blamed the kids for it.
That was, I think that was in a separate stream.
Okay.
Like he was talking about maybe the 16-year-old was bringing the crack in. But
That's
guys,
yeah.
guys,
16-year-old's gonna have that much coke.
guys, he literally just said this is good for the kids. Do we have to, let's repeat it. Let's fucking repeat it.
I got a job when I was 15 frying chicken, and I worked all through high school. The minute I could work, I started taking care of myself. Is probably, I know this sounds hard to believe to some of you pussies, this is actually going to be good for the kids, okay? In a way.
You guys heard it. Was he being sarcastic? Does anyone think that was sarcasm? Hello? Am I the one that's crazy? Am I on crack? Am I stoned out of my mind? Like, what's happening? You guys heard it too, right? The exact thing that Uncapped Turtle was saying that EVS did not say, he just fucking said. Oh, God, man. Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. I've already gone over this once, and here I am having to go over it again just to make it fucking clear. Just to make it fucking clear. That's what EVS said. And it wasn't sarcastic either. Look at the body language. Look at the tone of voice. Pay attention to the look in his eyes. No hint of sarcasm.
It builds life skills. A bit of trauma builds life skills.
And I understand that sometimes struggle does make people stronger. That is not always the fucking case. For every person that overcomes trauma and struggle, there's 10 other people that don't.
And it's still traumatic.
And I guarantee you, all of them would say, even if they did overcome it, it still would have been better if they never had to fucking go through it. It still doesn't make it right. No child should ever have to live like this. And I for one think that we as a society, if we're going to call ourselves a moral society, we have a responsibility to step in and fix situations like this. Because a society is judged by how it treats the most vulnerable. How much more vulnerable do you get than fucking children? I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? It built stronger Americans. No, it built Americans like you that have no fucking empathy for your fellow human being. It created cold, cruel-hearted bastards.
I can't believe he said that.
People want to know why does everybody always say that the conservatives are cold and cruel-hearted? Well, gee, I wonder fucking why when we promote people like this, when this is the people we have speaking for conservatives. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, Chad, am I fucking crazy?
Oh no, it's completely fucking. What he's saying is just completely stupid and dumb. I mean, to be traumatized is to still be traumatized. It doesn't matter if you build a bit of, you know, you learn some life lessons along the way and independence. Like my traumatic moments of my exes, you know, I became a stronger, better person that's able to deal with relationships better. But that doesn't mean that I really appreciated all those traumatic moments along the way. Like if I could do it over, I wouldn't do it.
Exactly. Like all
And
the
I
shit
wasn't a vulnerable child.
that I went through with my mother, with my older sister, like I've had people acknowledge. I mean, guys, listen. Let me just go through some of the shit. Like I've already talked about my mom, my older sister, but also when my dad died, guess who was the one that had to look at when they were performing CPR and they couldn't get him back? Guess who was the one that had to look at the nurse performing CPR and say, "You can stop." That was me. Like I had to be the one to make that decision. I was there taking care of my grandmother when she was going through chemo for 3 fucking years. I was the one taking her to all of her doctor's appointments. I was the one there when she was passing away. I did all that shit. I shouldn't have had to do that shit. My mother should have been there. I mean, with my dad, yes, because that's my father. But my mom should have been the one there taking care of my grandmother. Instead, she was sitting in fucking prison because she was distributing drugs in the drug underground, going by the fucking name of Dragon Lady on some stupid horse shit. And I was the one taking care of her mother for her. Yes, I went through a lot of traumatic stuff. Guess what? I wish it didn't fucking happen.
And let me guess, you've become a very independent person. That's like learned a lot of life lessons because of that. But still,
Yes,
it's
I
not
listen.
fucking worth it.
I learned lessons. But damn it, I still wish I didn't have to learn them that way.
No.
God almighty, no. I mean, listen, I still have a lot of anger and resentment for what the fuck happened to me. I
Yeah.
wish I didn't have to go through that shit. To sit here and say that it's a good thing? Fuck you, dude.
I don't get why he has a lot of followers. I really do. Like he's just such a, especially as the head of like as you know, to see him up there with well, if you think about Comicsgate, you know, you always see his face or you think about him in conjunction with it. It's just like that's why I hate the whole thing. It seems terrible because it's just such a narcissistic dude. Like, ugh. Everything he puts his paws into, he just seems to do it for himself, his own means. He very much seems like I. That's why I think him and Nick would get along like a house on fire.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen, I did this back because I already went through this video once. I'm having to do it again so that everybody knows, we can clarify this shit. But when I went through this the first time, I unsubscribed for him. Like this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I unsubscribed from him. In fact, you know what? You get a dislike today, sir. But I unsubscribed from him because of this shit. Because I like
Yeah.
this is fucking crazy. And you know what this does? For his community, for him, for people that are sweeping for Nick Rekieta. Again, what is the subtitle you guys see on screen? Credibility. This destroys credibility.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, and that's the thing that, like, at the end of the day, look who's sweeping for you and the actions that the sweepers have taken. They're saying ridiculous comments like this, or they're blocking you on Twitter because they don't like what you have to say, which is the truth.
And they sound
Facts.
fucking crazy. Like they're saying this whole thing's a conspiracy by the county, by the church. They actually said that Joe Biden was in on this conspiracy to get Nick Rekieta arrested. They compared the people that reported Nick Rekieta to the police to the people that reported Jews to the Third Reich. You people are out of your fucking minds.
It's so silly. Yeah, that's just stupid. Like, why? For what purpose?
I mean, it's
only
be-
person that would believe that would be Montegraph, and I mean he's fighting with Montegraph. So.
dude, they have this mentality of government always bad, people that I like always good, and it's like, I mean, I think that they've been fighting this culture war for so long, it's literally broken them.
Yeah, and they're calling everybody else bootlickers, and for what? Not backing Nick? It's like, no, you don't. You can hate the government and think bad of the police, but still think Nick is a piece of shit that was taking way too much coke, and
Yeah.
it doesn't change the facts of life. It doesn't change reality.
Let me
It's
be
like,
clear.
oh, someone shot someone in the face. Oh, but I hate the police, so nothing should happen to that person.
Right. Let me be clear about something. The government fucks up a lot. The police fuck up a lot. My sister, again, 20 times she was in and out of jail in 2022. She should have been locked. Like, that's a failure on the justice system. The bitch should be in jail to this day. Period. End of story. That's a failure on the justice system. But guess what? Sometimes they get it right. And in this case, they got it right.
Yeah, you can't deny all the facts and the truth that's out there, and the statements made by people that were there, which is in the mandatory reports, which lines up with what Aaron's been saying. At a certain point, it's like, and then if it was a conspiracy, why Nick, and what has Nick done that's that's doing so much damage to the county? What, he's saying bad words on YouTube? Like how many of of Nick's audience is like within that county, lives within that county? Would be fucking nobody, maybe one or two other people. Like, it's just silly.
Yeah, it's batshit insane. And again,
Well,
it's just,
yeah.
these people do not want to accept reality. They don't want to face facts that Nick Rekieta is a piece of shit. So they will come up with whatever they need to avoid having to face reality, because it's too fucking painful. The truth hurts, bitch. Get over it.
I just can't believe Nick even came out on stream and was calling everybody bootlickers and stuff. It's just, and like had this big swami face, if swami look on his face, and just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Oh, so that doesn't mean that you had heaps of coke and that? Oh yeah, congrats. Oh, you cleaned up the alcohol. Oh wow, took down the bottle painting. Yeah, Glitched, I don't know much about the Montegraph thing. I mean, I was my first friend on YouTube was Drummer828. I go way back with him, and he had a massive thing with Montegraph, where Montegraph was trying to dox him and all sorts. It's why Mr. Medica actually became involved in the whole situation, was because of Drummer, and his beef, and sort of Mr. Medica sort of peered in and then got a slap from Montegraph as well, and so started biting back. I guess it was because Nick's a lawyer and Montegraph saw the potential, and it's just because he called him a PDF. So, sorry, I'm trying to use non-gamer words. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's all it is. Like, it's weird because Montegraph fights with people online. That's what he's good for. That's what he is well known for. That and conspiracies, as far as what I know of Montegraph. I've done a deep dive into Montegraph to try and work out if there was anything there as far as law. There wasn't. There was just a whole bunch of people saying, oh, the evidence is because I said so. Trust me, bro. Then you go on to the next one. There's no evidence. They all just go around in a big circle jerk saying, oh, the evidence is because this guy said so. And then you go there, oh, it's because this guy said so. And it's just a rabbit hole of nothingness. It's basically because they hate Montegraph, because Montegraph because they're fighting with him online. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent.
No, you're
don't mean to
fine.
do that to you.
I mean, this is why I tell people, like, in America, we're not a serious country, because we have people like this that are the fucking spokesperson in the political discussion, in the cultural discussion. And it's like, is this who we really want representing a group of people? Like, this is not serious shit, people.
Yeah, like Comicsgate, it just puts a bad stain on and that's how I've always felt about the whole thing. It's like Ethan Van Sciver having such a fucking hold and grip of Comicsgate, it's just given it a bad name, and it makes the pushback against left-wing ideology look bad when you have people like that are very narcissistic and are basically running Comicsgate for the grip, and that's all I see it as.
Yeah.
You know, and then making statements like this as well.
I mean, like,
they're not good people.
I mean, like, they have no idea that statements like this actually will push people to vote for the left. They're defeating their own mission statement. They're defeating it.
Well, I was a leftist, and most leftists came over to more conservative values because the left was saying dumb things.
Yeah,
so the last thing you want to hear
and now
is
now the right's saying dumb things, and this is why I say, because both sides are a fucking joke. We're not serious people. We're not having, like, you think about the political discussions that they were having, like during the time of the founding fathers or even before that. I mean, and then you look at the discussions we're having now. It's a fucking embarrassment. I mean, we're mentally, like, we're fucking children, dude. We're mentally children on both sides. And I'm like, this is fucking, like, it just makes me want to throw my hands up and say, there's no fucking hope. There's no one on either side to turn to.
Oh, that's why it's good to be black-pilled. Anyway, I mean, I'll leave you. Thanks for having me on. It was interesting. It's good to talk to you.
No problem.
I hope it wasn't too annoying.
No, trust me. It's no, it's anytime you want to hop on, the invite link is always pinned in the chat.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I got my employee ringing me, so I better get back to him.
Oh yeah, no problem. Take care, man.
I am at work. Don't tell anybody. Okay.
Appreciate it. You have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, chat.
All right. Our politics is WWE. That is a very good comparison. That's a very good comparison, actually. It's just a fucking shit show, dude. It's just a fucking shit show. All right. So that's the EVS comments. Again, he's being dead ass serious. I don't see a hint of sarcasm. Everybody in the chat agrees. No fucking sarcasm here. He's being dead ass serious. And yes, he did say straight up, this is good for the kids. This situation's good for the kids. I don't know what else to tell you. That's the man in his own fucking words, guys. That's what EVS said. All right. So the last thing we're going to cover tonight, we're going to talk about Riley. And this will be a quick segment, and then we're going to call it a stream. This shouldn't take too long at all. But we are going to talk about Riley real quick. And again, the theme of this live stream is credibility. Here's the thing. You guys know that I don't like Eric July. I don't like Eric July. I think he's a hypocrite. I think he's immoral for hiring the on video proven incest twins that are the Soska sisters, putting up tweets about spying on little boys from a white van. Soska sisters, it's insane. Like, you guys know I don't like Eric July. Young Klippa, Riley, and Mint have gone out to Eric's warehouse. They've left bunny stickers. They've left money on the window. They went to the grave of Isom Knox in a public cemetery. They were standing out in a public parking lot in front of a venue where Eric was having a party, handing out comic books. Um, all of this stuff, all of this stuff that I don't personally endorse, but I don't think any of it was illegal because he never entered the private businesses. As far as I know, at this point, he's never entered the private businesses. It's always been in a public location. Eric does not own the parking lots. He does not own the cemetery. It's all public property. So as far as I'm concerned, he's not really done anything illegal. Eric will want to call it stalking or harassment. Personally, I think Eric lied to the police when he got the warrant put out. Number two is that the law in Texas is kind of fucked up because apparently they don't have to inform you when somebody does something like that, when somebody files a complaint, when somebody files a warrant like that, which is insane. So how is Riley supposed to avoid this type of situation? Like, how is he supposed to avoid violating this if he doesn't even know it exists? It's insane. But personally, I don't think Riley or Mint did anything illegal. I would not do this type of stuff. It's a bit too risky for me. I don't agree with it, but I don't think they did anything illegal. People want to say, well, they vandalized the warehouse. Guys, they taped stickers and money to the windows. That's not vandalizing. All they had to do was take the fucking money and the stickers off the window. They did not vandalize shit, as far as I know. Now, if more information comes out and I'm wrong, fine, fuck it. I'll call them out on it. I would not do this shit. I don't endorse doing this shit. There's a difference between saying that I support this and saying it's illegal. I don't think it's illegal, but I don't support it. That being said, Riley got arrested at the event that they were having, this party they were having, where he was handing out the comic books. Riley got arrested. Here's the thing. As somebody that has been on streams with Riley, because I've been in a few of Tony's streams with Riley. I've talked to Riley, talked to Mint in a few of these streams, had some association. I like you guys. Listen, for your own sake, I think it's time to stop. I think it's time to stop. Because I'm worried if you don't, you guys are going to get in some real trouble. It really does concern me. It really does concern me. So here's the thing. I think you guys have proven the point. Eric goes on and on about this whole anarcho-capitalist, libertarian bullshit, right? And yet here he is getting the state involved in these matters. If he actually believed in the principles that he espouses, Eric July would have gone out there, talked to Riley, talked to Mint, handled this like an actual libertarian. Because according to the libertarian philosophy, you don't need to get the cops involved. You don't need to get the state involved. You don't need to get the government involved. People can handle these situations. They can work these situations out themselves. So why didn't Eric July do that? The fact that Eric did get the state involved, got the police involved, got the government involved, has proven that he is a hypocrite. So we've proven he has gone against his own fucking principles that he has espoused for years and years and years and years and years. You guys have successfully proven that Eric July is a hypocrite. Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Let's stop going to these businesses. Let's stop going to these places. You guys have proven that he is a hypocrite. Congratulations. Good job. Now, if we want to criticize his comic books, if we want to criticize his hypocrisy, let's do it online and let's keep it at that. Let's keep it at that. Let's not go to these extremes anymore. It's done. It's over. Now, do I expect Riley and Mint to listen to me? Probably not. They're probably going to keep doing stuff like this. But I'm putting out my opinion on it right now. I'm making this statement right now so that you guys know that I do not endorse this. And I certainly don't endorse any further actions like this from Riley and Mint. I think that the point has been proven, and I think it's time to stop. For your own sake. I mean, I don't give a shit about Eric, but for your own sake, I think it's time to stop. I think you guys should really just stop it. All right? For your own sake, let's stop. And that's my opinion on it. That's my opinion on it. For the sake of Riley and Mint, for their own well-being, they should stop doing this. You guys have proven the point. You've shown Eric to be a hypocrite. It's like Father Hostage said, like Eric used to be a liberal. He adopted this whole libertarian thing in order to make a grift off of it. You guys have proven that in spades. You guys have confirmed what Father Hostage has been saying, all right? Good job. Congratulations. Mission accomplished. Now let's dial it back, all right? And we can criticize Eric online and keep it at that. But because I'm worried that if you guys do, I mean, so it's like what Glitch says. The stuff I saw today looks almost illegal. See, that's the thing. I'm not willing to say that they actually did anything illegal. In fact, I could see it being the case that Eric actually did lie to the police, as far as like what he claimed happened at the warehouse. In all honesty, but I do agree that it's on that borderline, and I don't want them to cross that line because it would be very bad for Riley and Mint. And so, as somebody that has been on stream with you guys, has associated with you guys, as a compadre, as an ally, I am saying right now, guys, enough's enough. It's time to chill. You guys have proven your point. Enough is enough. I think it's time to stop. Do I expect you guys to listen to me? Probably not. But my statement is out there. And if something does happen, if you guys do cross that line and things do go too far and something happens, I've got it out there in the public. My conscience is fucking clear. Because I have put out my warning. My conscience is fucking clear. So there it is. That's my official statement on the whole Riley and Mint situation that has gone down with the Rippaverse. That's my official statement. Okay. So with that out of the way, chat, let me ask you guys real quick, because we're about to wrap up the stream. Let me ask you guys real quick. I know there's been this whole thing with this guy, I'm Alex, or whatever his name is, like the domestic. Apparently there was like some kind of domestic abuse situation. Do you guys want me to cover that at all? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of catching up on the, like, I've never watched the guy, but I was kind of catching up on the lore about it. And to me, I mean, the dude seems like a real piece of shit, to be honest with you. And he's another one of these hypocrites that espoused all these, family values and shit. And then he goes and he does stuff like this. He seems like a real big hypocrite. At the same time, though, it seems like she should have walked away from him at some point. And it's an interesting situation, but is it really as big as everybody's making it out to be? I don't know. But would you guys want me to cover that? Like, do you guys want me to do another stream, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, covering that? Let me know. Because I can do it. Like, if you guys want me to do that, let me know in the chat, and I'll do it. But at this point, I don't really see a point in getting involved in it because I didn't even know this guy existed, but everybody's talking about it. If you guys want me to cover it, I'll cover it, but let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Aside from that, the next stream I should do officially, well, not a stream, it'll be a video because I have to get around the copyright issues. It'll be a video. There'll be like an exclusive version on Patreon for this. But I do plan to watch the first 3 episodes of The Acolyte and do a live reaction to the first 3 episodes of The Acolyte, because apparently I've been told there is something in episode 3 specifically that fucking breaks the lore, like absolutely destroys the entire lore of Star Wars. Like people are going crazy about this, and I'm like, maybe I should check this out and just see what everybody's talking about. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But I am thinking about doing a live reaction to that, and I would put out a edited version of that to get around the whole copyright issues on YouTube. I would put out an edited version of that out on YouTube and the full version on Patreon. So that will probably be the next thing coming down the pipeline for sure. But again, if you guys want me to talk about this, I'm a Alex controversy. I will. But I don't know if I really care to get into it, to be honest with you, because again, it's not like it's somebody that I even knew about before the controversy, to be honest with you. Like I was subscribed to Rekieta for a while until he started going downhill, and I unsubscribed. And then of course I've been involved in the Eric July stuff for months now. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but I will consider it. I will consider it. But for sure, I am going to be putting out videos about the Acolyte later this week. But honestly, yeah. So the full uncensored version of the live reaction will go up on the Patreon, and then there'll be like a shortened, edited version of the live reaction to get around YouTube's copyright stuff. They'll be going out here on YouTube. And apparently, like it's some like ridiculous stuff, and apparently it's actually united the fan base. Like even people that like the sequels are teaming up with people that hate the sequels, and everybody's coming together. Like Disney with the Acolyte apparently is uniting the fan base, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because I didn't really care to watch the Acolyte because I knew it was going to be shit, but apparently like it's done something that's absolutely unforgivable, and it's uniting the fan base. So I am seriously considering like just saying, well, I'm going to check out these episodes, and I'm going to put out videos on it later this week. So yeah, that's coming down the pipeline. But that being said, I think that's pretty much it. Like I've covered all the topics I wanted to cover, which was the EVS thing, the Rekieta thing, the Riley thing. I think we're done. So chat, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I want to thank Extra Hero. I want to thank EJ for jumping in, being on the panel. Great conversations that we had tonight. Very good stuff. And I think that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I think I've proven my points. I brought the receipts. I've shown you guys that there's a lot of hypocrisy going on here, that Rekieta is a piece of shit, that EVS is being a hypocrite. And I think that people that are sweeping for Rekieta are losing a lot of credibility. And hopefully you guys believe that I am trying to maintain my credibility and trying to keep that credibility. And hopefully you guys appreciate it and you guys stick around. But we've been getting a lot of new subscribers in, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are an intelligent chat. You guys are an intellectually honest chat. Even when we disagree, we're still being intellectually honest, and I love that. That's what I want. That's a healthy community right there. That's what I want. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Welcome to all the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. But you guys know what to do. If you want to support the channel financially, the information is at the bottom of the screen. I have a Patreon, I have a Cash App, a Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff. Much appreciated. You guys can also send in super chats. That's always appreciated as well. If you can't support the channel financially, hey, there's other ways to do it. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and share the content to other people so that we can get more people in here and we can grow the community. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, which is going to be freaking awesome. When we hit that, I'm going to be so excited, man. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for any kind of support that you guys can offer. You guys are awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. I will see you guys for the next one. Again, Acolyte stuff is coming later this week. Be on the lookout for that. Subscribe for that. If it's as bad as everybody's saying, I'm probably going to have a fucking meltdown. Like, I'm probably going to absolutely lose my shit if it's really that fucking bad. So that should be entertaining. That should be entertaining. To see a grown man just go fucking crazy over fucking Star Wars. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good night. You guys are awesome. See y'all in the next one.